up a seat and motherfucking listen. Pull up a seat and motherfucking listen.
Hey, pack your bag, time to go home.
Talking crazy on our soil where our blood and bones grown.
This our grind, we outside on it. While y'all fools on the outside looking, y'all show no respect to so leave. Hey,
Y'all don't get it, so it's time to go home.
get the hell up out of America, take your digits, make it just fly on.
Y'all don't get it, so it's time to go home.
Get the hell up out of America, take your digits, make it just fly on.
You landed on the tarmac, off the talking about y'all feel nothing, man. You choking on the note. My ancestors reason that this picked the cotton, built the White House, planted the CEA. Jim Crow law, lined the map. We was the target. You think that struggle's a costume, man? You can't mark it. We fought the wars, we bled the blood, we died for future's chance, and you come here and give our legacy a side eye while throwing shade on the guard. While you benefit from doors we kicked down with our last breath. Now you spit on the architects who stared down death. Disrespectful, that's disrespectful, ungrateful, a slap in the face to only people who gave a fuck. So let me show your ungrateful ass to the right place.
Pack your bags, time to go home.
Talking crazy on our soil where our blood and bones grown.
This our ground and we outside on it. While y'all fools on the outside looking, y'all show no respect to Black America, so leave.
Y'all don't get it, so it's time to go home.
Get the hell up out of America, take your digits, make it just fly on.
Y'all don't get it, so it's time to go home.
Get the hell up out of America, take your digits, make it just fly on. Passport, the visa, the privilege to be here. Cause my grandma did march for y'all, so disappear from our land. You cosplaying our pain. Think it's the ghost of a star. We
We do nothing. You don't get to come into our house. We've been from the door. And y'all ain't working. Violate.
Sorry, y'all. The damn Streamyard acting stupid. It just kicked me out. Let me get back to where we were. Okay. I don't know what the hell's wrong with the Streamyard. It just kicked me out. Having technical difficulties, okay. What is it not getting? What's going on?
Yeah. They thought we forgot, but we never forget. This one's for the roots. We built this land from dust and tears for 100 years, and we still here. They write new rules, but they don't see every freedom they got came off you and me. We planted seeds, they took the bloom. We lit the flame, they left the room. But we back now, know the skies. The spirit's woke, we realize all we want is what we earn. That sweat and blood, yeah, that table turn. You can't buy culture, can't fake that fight. This is our day, this is our right. We happy. Say it loud, say it strong. We the heartbeat that's been there all along. Foundational Black Americans, stand tall. We ain't begging for nothing, we built that all. Born from pain and grace, you can see the truth written in our face. We the soul, the sound, to fight the flame. Foundational Black Americans, say our name. They love our rhythm, but they dodge our blues. Use our voice when it fits their but backbone, we are alone. The mask is clear. We see the game. We know what's here. No more silence. No more lies. We lift that flag and watch it rise. Rise up. Rise up. We the ones that made this nation breathe. Our veins are power. Our roots are trees. We it's rhythm and grace. Now we're reclaiming our rightful place. Can't copy courage, can't steal pain. You can't inherit soul by changing names. Our story ain't done, it's the revival. We guard the gate, it's about survival. We have been, say it loud. The world dances on what we vow. Foundational Black Americans. Still we stand, still we fight, still we demand. Every block, every song, we've been right here all along. The soul of a people strong and free. Foundational Black Americans. We the first, we the root, we the fire. Still rising, still here. Foundational Black American.
We set the tone and they copy the cadence. Dance to our drums and deny the foundation. Wear the style but don't honor the source. Smile in the crowd and you distance and force. Say you not us. I ain't mad, I'm just glad. I ain't here to chase no. Just keep it on and keep it solid. If you eat from the table we built, don't act surprised we guard it. Do you like that? Do you like that? When I flip goes down and I ride. Do you like that? Do you like that? Do you like that? That's how I feel when you borrow my emotion. Then we never matter. Hip-hop.
Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Shabaka Blacc Experience Enhanced this evening. The air date of this episode is April the 21st, 2026. We are having technical difficulties here in the studio, so I'm quite sure it's the servers or who's ever running this bullshit, okay, that they are interfering with our freedom of speech. So I'm staying here until our Denver office can come back on. Brother Che, if you could hear me, please unmute your mic. Okay, so as per the topics for tonight, ladies and gentlemen, okay, Number 1 is DeCarlos Brown is unfit to stand trial. Untold abuse on sugar plantations. Pan-Africanists spread lies about the FBA situation, and then the Stinky Bird lawsuit, and we all know who Stinky Bird is, and then the so-called free speech. Okay, well, first place, ladies and gentlemen, I'm just going to ad lib here until Che comes into the studio. And if Brother Che is unable to come into the studio, then we will scrub this podcast. So we're going to, not the podcast, but this episode. So we're going to try, to go ahead for at least another 10 more minutes. Okay. So as I was saying, ladies and gentlemen, is that we're trying to take care of these technical difficulties here. Okay.
All right, I'm back.
Okay, Brother Che.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay. All right, and then just like what Mac 285 says, they really messing with this stream, man. You know what I'm saying? And what have you. No, because I'm out here, man. It's 82 degrees and we got high winds out here. And then I was going on the
you call it success, but don't confuse the two. East came after what we went through. You abandoned your land and called it strategy. You waved that flag loud, but won't return to build your legacy. That contradiction tells the story for you. You waving your flag on our soil, or fighting not to go back home. We waving ours where we were forged, every inch earned, every brick known. We can't be deported, and that truth changes everything. We can't be deported, and that truth changes everything. We know who we are, and now we see who you are too. Just because y'all born here doesn't make you FBA at all. It makes you an American citizen. It's biologically impossible to be us because it's a lineage, not some damn costume you can just put on to look cool. You immigrants and immigrant Americans has used our culture as an access card, a backstage pass to our culture. Now y'all have to look in the mirror. Our sense of humor, the aesthetics, mannerisms, the style of dress, the smoothness, the creativity, our genres of music, innovativeness, our slang, our warrior spirit by staying on our homeland and fighting and not fleeing to somebody else's land to beg for a better life and shit on the very people who fought to have us there. That's who we are. And we know who the hell y'all are waving your flag on our soil and fighting to make sure y'all don't. Go back.
You can't leech off our culture anymore. Beat it!
Shabaka, I put the link in the chat to share the video out.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Mike Larry, man.
All right.
You did it again.
I don't see it.
You're really making history. Let's go.
Yeah, I don't see it, brother.
Do you like that? Do you like that?
Yeah.
Flip your sound. How you like that?
Yeah.
Do you like that?
Okay.
Do you like that? Say it loud, don't walk it back. Do you like that?
Do you like that?
You grew up mimicking us, now y'all switch it up. Turn the carbon copy, y'all ain't black, what the fuck? It's funny y'all connecting to our culture like it's Wi-Fi. Surfing on our waves of our culture, no more agua. Till my culture for all these years.
Look how time flies, all these colonizers in disguise. We all hate, y'all still hate us outside. Study the vampires, it's the blood of our gift. They copy the flavor, sip the juice, love the results, hate the truth. Who? Do you like that? Do you like that? Do you like that? Flip your sound. How you like that? Do you like that? Democratic shields, talking points, the road they fill. Fish and chips, agent on the mic. Judging FBAs, but ain't you half white? Talking like you one of us, we need a proof face. The agent type with a prune face. Like 50 and Jim, it's a cold game. Throwing stones cause we built our own lane. I'm joking, kinda, but I mean smile calm, pressure intact. Y'all proud where y'all from. Where they flag, beat they drum. But when it's us, tone switch fast. Same pride, but it's too much. FBA pride, lineage solid. You can't put this on, can't try it on. Built here, stayed and fought. That's the difference. That's the car. Do you like that? Do you like that? Say it clear, don't twist the facts. Do you like that? Yeah. Do you like that? Do you like that? Point made. No edit. No care.
You know, erasing history is something that you have to do when it comes to conquest, domination, and destroying a people. If people knew who they were, what they were, and what they were capable of in the past, they will understand what they have a possibility or a likelihood of doing in the future.
Foundation of Black Americans, we've always had a culture of resistance. We cultivated a culture of resistance on this land, and we've been resisting ever since we've encountered European domination.
But nothing was really popping in Europe until the transatlantic slave trade, and that's where they amassed a lot of wealth.
One thing that I think is unique about our culture as far as how we resist, how we fight back is just the environment we were put in from day one. Being only 13% of the population, the white supremacists were very meticulous about keeping that population at a certain amount.
There was never a period when we did not resist the encroachment of the white man.
They have a natural behavior of authority no matter where they go. That's why they'll step up in front of us in the line at the store. We're not important. They don't even see us.
We've never been able to excel. We've never been able to relax. We've never been able to just be, which means that existence is resistance.
It must be something in our DNA, our historical background, to when something doesn't sit right with us, especially spiritually, in our souls and in our spirit, we just say no.
We live in resistance. You know, from the moment we're born, we're in resistance. And it's handed down generation to generation.
And so I think that cultural resistance is actually in our DNA, in our epigenetics, and then it blossoms out into the culture.
So there's almost nothing in America that we do, from song to dance to politics to the way we talk, the way we dress, having coded languages considered to be slang today. Everything about Black American culture is a form of resistance.
Of course, they want to always downplay our contributions to the global tapestry because they continue to act like our number one export in this country is not Black innovation.
Everyone understands that our resistance has been the cornerstone of what foundational Black Americans have always done. We are the life that breathes everything into this nation.
The further back you go, the further Black you go. It's just simple like that, brother.
Introducing the B1 Rolodex, the easiest way to search for and support FBA and B1 businesses. Hundreds of entries from the Black grassroots for the Black grassroots. Free to use, free to download, constantly updated. Trouble navigating the document? Try using the map version. Notice a business missing? Use this simple Google form to submit an FBA or B1 business. Also submit anti-Black businesses, which are now being collected in that last tab. Find resources, contact numbers, and much more using the second tab. All the info you need to start practicing group economics today. Go to blacktruthunited.com. That's blacktruthunited.com.
All right, go ahead, Shabaka. Shabaka.
Yeah, man, we having technical difficulties out here, man. You know what I'm saying? Is because it's this goddamn wind out here that keeps this shit buffering. And I'm so sick and tired of these motherfuckers in there bullshit.
Yeah. Go ahead with the intro, Shabaka.
Damn.
All right, thank y'all for tuning in to season 11.
I apologize to our listeners right here, but I'm just frustrated because we're spending our motherfucking money out here, and I wish there was a way to haul this goddamn Streamyard into court and sue these motherfuckers. But look where they're based at.
Yeah. All right,
look
go
where they're based at.
with the introduction, Shabaka.
What's the matter, brother?
Okay. Hey, gentlemen. Okay, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, season 11, episode 32. Our list of topics here. Number 1, DeCarlos Brown unfit to stand trial. Okay. Second one, Untold abuse on the sugar plantations. Well, we've been on that. Hell, when we was with Blogtalk, we was doing a bunch of stories on that. So therefore, for all you assholes out there who think we don't deserve reparations, look what we contributed to your fucking Jack Daniels, your Johnny Walker Red, and all that other alcoholic shit, because you make it from fucking sugar, from sugar cane, and which the fuck that we went out there enslaved and was brutalized to get. So fuck you motherfuckers out there with that bullshit. Now, also too, our third topic is Pan-Africanists spread lies about the FBA, which is the Foundation of Black Americans. Okay. Then also too, we got the stinky bird lawsuit, that funky, nasty, goddamn boy who owns Stinky Bird. Fuck him. Okay. And then we got something here called free speech. And then when we get all the complaints and shit like this here for this episode and what I've been saying, will prove the fucking fact that we do not have no free speech. Okay, we're going to turn it over to our
Shabaka, there's still topics. You didn't get through all the topics. Keep reading.
Okay, all righty. Okay, now I got to go back here to the email, Brother Chase. Sorry about that. You see, this is the shit that they are sending us through. Okay. All right, bear with me, folks. Okay. All right. Damn sure get advertisement from Bing. You know what I mean? Yeah, they don't have a problem coming through with their shit. Yeah, but as soon as we go up here and do ours, you know what I'm saying? It's all kind of glitches and all this old kind of shit. Oh, Lord. Okay. Just bear with me, people. Boy, this is tiring. Boy, I'm telling you. Yes. Man, we got a wind advisory.
Charger.
All right, so which means there's a process there here.
Where's the charger? Where's your charger?
I have charged everything.
Where is your other charger?
My bag.
Then get it out the bag. So you can charge your phone.
Okay. All right, Brother Che.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to ask you to read all the topics, brother, because like I said, they are not letting me do nothing here on this end. And I do mean nothing. Okay. See, I can't even get the damn Facebook page up here, man, to share the fucking link out. Hold on. All right. Hold on. Okay. All right, here we go. It's going to friends only, not the public, because I'm not in the mood for you arguing with a bunch of stupid, ignorant ass inbred motherfuckers. Okay, you goddamn Nabiscos, come out here and fry in this goddamn sun, motherfuckers. Excuse my language, people, but this is what's happening is. Oh, and they got me going to psychologist motherfuckers here for anger management. Okay. All right.
So that ought to be fun, Shabaka.
Oh, I'm going to have a ball with the crazy bastards. You know what I'm saying? I really am. Because my first question is going to be, how you going to tell me a dope fiend and a practicing homosexual by the name of Sigmund Freud is an expert on heterosexual relationships between men and women? Okay.
Actually,
civil rights, human rights. But, you know, it is what it is, people. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. Okay, go ahead, Dynamite.
That'd be a good.
Let me finish the intro, Dynamite.
Oh, go right.
Yes, sir. Please do.
So we got Pan-Africanist spread lies about about FBAs for delineation.
Okay.
Elon Musk AI lawsuit, free speech versus regulation. And if we have time, Tuccer Carlson, should Republicans be forgiven for voting for the dump as inhuman shit? And we'll make that perfectly clear. I hated debate. And Shabaka Blacc Experience Enhanced is based on the 50th anniversary of the founding of the original Blacc Panther Party for self-defense. We started on Blogtalk Radio back in 2016 and have been around for 11 seasons now. Shabaka Blacc Experience Enhanced covers the Black experience from the beginning of time until 10 minutes ago. It's also a part of the Frontline campaign and has recently, within the last 2 years, moved from Blogtalk Radio to Streamyard. Please make sure you like and share the broadcast, family. It's on Streamyard, YouTube, Frontline Black News. The links to all of our channels are in the description, including Frontline Black News. Frontline Black News 2, our backup channel. Make sure y'all sub to that just in case they try to take Frontline Black News down again. And then we got my personal page, Jesse Paris, aka Chan Krumah. Make sure y'all sub to that. That's where we stream all the city council meetings for Denver and Aurora and the local Denver and Aurora Black events. And then we got Lady Chase backup channel, Seduction Doll. Make sure y'all sub to that so she can start going live on that channel. Then we got her main channel, The Revolutionary Agenda, the RBA. Make sure y'all sub to that. And she will be dropping the RBA sometime this week. And then we got Shabaka's YouTube channel, Genet 1. Make sure y'all sub to that so Shabaka can start going live on YouTube. And then we got our cousin, our Loaster, who was live earlier, Jay Militant, out the Bay Area. Who's cracking TV with Jay Militant. Make sure y'all sub to his channel as well. Then we got our brother Kukizi out the Mile High, Kukizi 5100. Make sure y'all sub to his channel as well. Then we got our brother Breeze Omega, who's live right now out of VA, Virginia, by way of New York. Breeze Omega, and he just surpassed 1,000 subscribers. So salute to Breeze. And then we got our brother, the Church of Black Power, who's originally from Watts, California, who's now in Houston, Texas. The link to his channel is also in the description. And he just surpassed 2,000 subscribers, fast approaching 3,000. And then last but not least, we got our brother Black Truth United, who's been on hiatus, but did come up with the B1 Rolodex, which I just played the ad for, which is a modern-day green book for FBA and B1 businesses. And the links to submit your business is in the description, and the links to the Rolodex itself is in the description. And yours truly is in the Rolodex for my political work. Then we got Council the Congressional Black Caucus and create a foundational Black American Caucus. The petition link for that is in the description. Then we got our sister Brooke, my niece, Call to Action. The link to that is in the description. And then we got Lady Chase GoFundMe. Donate to that if you haven't already. And then we got the 103-year-old elder, GoFundMe, who's on the verge of losing her home almost 40 years in South Central Los Angeles. So please donate to her if you can. And then we got my campaign for House District 8. Support me, Jesse Parrish, for House of Representatives in Colorado for House District 8. And the link to the website is in the description. And then we got copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. Allowances made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, education, and research. And I do not own the rights to the music. And if you don't understand racism and white supremacy, what it is and how it works, everything else you think you understand will only confuse you in all 9 or 10 areas of human or people activity. And that is economics, education, entertainment, labor, law, politics, religion, sex, and war, and some say health and nutrition, in all 9 or 10 areas of human or people activity. And that was by Mr. Nelly Fuller Jr., who transitioned exactly a year ago at the age of 95, ProduceJustice.com. And when you are a black person or captured by any race soldier, you must never fuss, fight, or flee. Comply and defend yourself in court, also by Nelly Fuller Jr., ProduceJustice.com. And then we got racism, white supremacy as conscious and subconscious behavior to maintain white genetic survival, to prevent white genetic annihilation. And that was by the late, great master teacher, Dr. Francis Cress Wilson, who transitioned exactly 10 years ago at the age of 80 and would have been 90 as of 2-3 weeks ago. And shout out to our FBA brother, Tariq Nasheed, for paying for her funeral, along with several others. So those are the topics. Make sure y'all hit that like and subscribe button. All right, Shabaka, we need to hop right into it with DeCarlos Brown deemed unfit to stand trial, and Black Power Dynamite. Thank you for joining us.
Okay. All righty. And they probably determining that brother, if it's who I think it is, they're determining him to be unfit. Okay. That just sounds like some shit that they would do in California. So therefore, they'll declare you to be unfit. Then they'll incarcerate you until a mental institution until further notice. 2 days, 3 days, 200 years. Then they'll determine you fit to stand trial. Okay, so which means is that all your methods to defend yourself has been exhausted. Okay, they'll turn it over to the district attorney's office to let them to decide. And then the judge and the kangaroo courts will sit up there and go with the district attorney. Why? Because all these individuals are lawyers, okay? All of them are doctor of jurisprudence. You see what I mean?
Okay.
And so they all went to law school together. So in my opinion, based on that, it is a kangaroo court. And keep in mind is that they have certain ways of dealing with us. You see?
Yep. All right, I got it pulled up. I just got to get my cue in the right order.
So when I put that brick wall up there, that means I'm mad today.
Okay. Obviously, you've been cussing up a storm since we started. All right, is this going?
And I approve of the messages, you know what I'm saying? And this is for those over the age of 18 years old. So if you're 17 and 360 days old, don't come on this podcast. You got to be 18 years old, even if today is your birthday, which is April 21st, 2026. So if you're 18 years old today, you're welcome to come up here. So if you're not 18 years old yet, and if you'll be 18 years old tomorrow, do not come up here.
Okay.
Daddy, we gotta take that chance, huh?
Lady Che, I do not put nothing past these bastards, and I do mean absolutely nothing.
All right, so the good professor of Black Truth going to give us an update on this.
All right. Shout out to the professor.
And April is New Black Media Appreciation Month. Oh, it's muted.
By now, I'm sure that everyone's familiar with the case of DeCarlos Brown. He was arrested after he was accused of killing a white woman on a commuter train. Family and fellow soldiers, I'm the professor, and this is the moment of truth. By now, I'm sure that everyone's familiar with the case of DeCarlos Brown. He was arrested after he was accused of killing a white woman on a commuter train. Of course, it was just the typical white right phony outrage because they forgot all about that after Charlie Kirk got murked. But for a hot minute, the white right was pointing at Mr. Brown as if he was going to prove that there's some sort of white victimhood in America. Well, you're probably wondering what's happened with that case, and here's what's going on. In addition to first-degree murder, Mr. Brown also faces a federal charge alleging that he committed an act of violence resulting in death on a mass transportation system. Both the state and federal prosecutors are seeking the death penalty. By the way, does anyone remember when they sought the death penalty for the murderers of Ahmaud Arbery? Those guys were also tried at both the state and federal levels. Mr. Brown's attorneys filed a motion in Mecklenburg Superior Court seeking to continue what's known as a Rule 24 hearing. That's a hearing in which a judge determines whether prosecutors can pursue the death penalty. You see, Mr. Brown was evaluated at Central Regional Hospital, a state psychiatric hospital in Granville County, after his attorneys expressed concern about his mental state. And on December 29, 2025, a report was issued indicating that Mr. Brown was incapable to proceed to trial, according to the motion filed by one of his attorneys. The next step from here is supposed to be a capacity hearing in Mecklenburg Superior Court, at which a judge will determine if Mr. Brown should stand trial. That's going to be a little difficult, though, because Mr. Brown is currently in federal custody, and his attorneys have pointed out that the hearing cannot happen under these circumstances. Mr. Brown is also undergoing a separate psychological evaluation in the federal prison system. A report from that evaluation is expected later this month. If Mr. Brown is deemed mentally incompetent to stand trial, a judge will have to hold a capacity hearing in federal court. The state trial is also at a standstill while Mr. Brown is in federal custody. He won't go to trial in either court until questions surrounding his mental state are resolved. Now, this development that the psychiatric hospital he was at determined that he was incapable to proceed to trial, that's gotten those on the white right very angry, very salty pretty much. But I don't know why the boy's own mother tried to have him involuntarily committed after he was released from prison. So people were sounding the alarms years ago. It's just that nobody listened. The same creeps who make excuses for the likes of John Davidson are now the first to say that this guy is totally responsible for his behavior, even though he's crazy as hell. DeCarlos Brown's mental state is unquestionably bad. Right-wingers were the ones who led the charge to eliminate state mental health money so the rich don't have to pay so much in taxes. And this is the result. This is about the price of sacrificing public services to reward the 1%. And were this a black victim of a white assailant, that's the narrative that we would be hearing from the white right and the rest of the white media. And just to show that when it comes to situations like this, there is no difference between the white left and white right medias, the New York Times had previously written a story about Mr. Brown's run-ins with the law, in which they had the gall to take a quote from one of the smear merchants at the Manhattan Institute, which those of you who listen to me know they are the employers of people like Christopher Rufo, Douglas Murray, Heather McDonald, and the self-hating John McWhorter. Everyone in the white media knows that the Manhattan Institute's entire purpose is to push as much anti-black rhetoric as possible, and to have pseudo-intellectuals who aren't qualified to get hired by a reputable university or college spew their filth under the guise that this is some sort of half-brained scholarship. Nobody refers to Manhattan Institute propaganda when it comes to scholarly articles. They don't have any peer-reviewed anything because no reputable academic would actually review their garbage. But the New York Times suddenly felt that they were a legitimate source for their story. They quoted a guy from the Manhattan Institute named Stephen Ide, and he said that the left's concerns about civil liberties set too high a bar for involuntary psychiatric commitment, while the right's concerns about spending have kept the number of treatment beds too low, or as he put it, a bipartisan catastrophe. The Manhattan Institute shill then went on to note that North Carolina ranks 36th in the nation for the number of psychiatric beds per capita, though at no point did he admit that North Carolina is a red state, so their being near the bottom in psychiatric beds is a Republican policy. When it comes to anything that happens in, say, California or New York, the white right always makes sure to say that it's a blue state. These are Democratic policies to blame. Something happens in North Carolina, though, and suddenly they don't want to connect the dots. Well, this is the kind of pox on both your houses gibberish you expect from the white right. The problem is the Republicans cut mental health funding to the states. And as for that crap about the bar for having someone involuntarily committed is too high thanks to these leftists, even the New York Times knew that that wasn't true when they printed it. How? Because just a few paragraphs later in the exact same article, the New York Times reported about how, quote, in the spring of 2023, Mr. Brown shoved his mother and stepfather, prompting them to obtain an involuntary commitment order approved by a magistrate for their son. They sought an involuntary commitment order, and it was approved. The psychiatric facility, Atrium, kept Mr. Brown for 14 days, diagnosing him with schizophrenia and prescribing medication. His mother begged the facility to keep her son longer, but she was told it was not possible. So the bar for having Mr. Brown involuntarily committed was clearly not too high because he was involuntarily committed. So, just like with everything else the Manhattan Institute's ever said, they were wrong about this too. It was the state who said that they weren't able to keep him any longer, even though his mother begged them to. So Mr. Brown's alleged crime wasn't because civil liberties were prioritized over public safety. It was because North Carolina is a red state sewer run by racist right-wing trash, and they prioritize cutting public services like mental health beds, so the state doesn't have the ability to hold people for treatment for longer than a few days. It was budget cuts from the right that caused this, not bleeding heart civil libertarians on the left. But the Manhattan Institute already knew that, and they knew that if they admitted it, they would also have to admit the Republican policies were to blame. Keep in mind, people like the Manhattan Institute attacked the left during the BLM protest because you had people saying that mental health facilities needed more funding so that when people are having a mental health crisis, instead of calling the cops, they can call mental health professionals instead. The white right said that that was ridiculous bleeding heart liberalism. And now here they are admitting under their breath that the Republicans slashing state mental health funding is the real reason that people like Mr. Brown couldn't be kept off the streets. See, to the white right, they figure the police will show up and kill somebody having a mental health crisis, well, that is if they're black, or they'll have scumbags like Daniel Penny do it instead, except thugs with badges are too lazy to be on the trains, and cowards like Daniel Penny can't sneak up behind everyone, so that plan was already doomed to failure. Their policies of maintaining tax cuts for the rich off the backs of the public, that's what caused this tragedy to occur. So not only was some hack writer at the New York Times stupid enough to write that the bar for involuntary commission was too low right before writing that Mr. Brown was involuntarily committed, but this also got by a fact checker. Well, hell, that's a hell of an assumption considering this is the Times, but at the very least, one assumes that there is at least one editor who took a glance at this crap before letting it go to print. So this open, blatant contradiction got by both the stupid writer and the incompetent editors at the New York Times. This is what happens when you let incompetent racists feed you your talking points. You wind up looking like an idiot. A foreign white woman is killed, and the white right made a phony cause celeb out of it. They were shameless about it, to a cartoonish degree, and as part of their pathetic political theater, they even wrote some laws. The Republican-led North Carolina legislature passed a bill named after the white woman who was killed, and the governor of North Carolina, a Democrat, signed it into law. Say, remember when those legislators passed that law after Dylan Roof murdered all those black women? And
there's Governor Maryland, right?
The legislators passed that law named after George Floyd, or that law named after Breonna Taylor, or Elijah McClain, or Tatiana Jefferson, or Walter Scott, or Laquan McDonald, or any of the black victims of these white race soldiers? Me neither. And those were American citizens. Meanwhile, they had hearings and began prosecutions, plural, for somebody who's not even a citizen. And it came as no surprise to anyone that the same Donald Trump who bragged about closing the border and who made most of his campaign about keeping immigrants out, except for the white ones from South Africa and from Ukraine, he also invited the family of the deceased to the State of the Union address. So he's fine with immigration, so long as the immigrants are white. But then again, this is no shock to anyone. The racial imbalance in how policymakers reacted to this incident, that's why we need an anti-black hate crime law. But as you saw, it was a Democrat who signed off on that law in North Carolina. Both political parties are on code against us, and yet you still have idiots on both sides trying to tell black people that we need to back one party or the other. This is the entire problem with black people constantly looking for allies. And what's another word for ally? A friend? Well, we're a group, and groups don't have friends. Groups have interests. Everyone else understands this fact. We should too. People can be mad all they want about this psychiatric hospital releasing their evaluation that the man's not fit to stand trial. But why is it that whenever we have all of these mass killings or racial killings, you got individuals who these same institutions say are crazy or at least not fit to stand trial, and nobody's outraged about that? Whenever someone from the dominant society commits some heinous crime, particularly a mass killing, the very first thing we hear from people who are not mental health professionals is, well, they must have been crazy. The white media's standard stock narrative for these kind of crimes is, oh yeah, he was crazy, all right. He had to have been because, he's from the dominant society. So if he exhibits any sort of antisocial or violent behavior, well, that's some sort of wild fluke. It's certainly not normal. I mean, he must be crazy. That's what they always do. Yeah, well, in this case, then, Mr. Brown, he should be seen the exact same way. That is, as long as we're not being racial, right? As long as we're not simply saying that this is some sort of phony racial narrative that only gets dragged out when it's convenient to white power. But we all know what the truth happens to be. Were Mr. Brown anything other than black, you better believe that the same right-wing nuts who are trying to make so much hay about it, they wouldn't be saying anything at all. And we know that's true because when Charlie Kirk was killed shortly after that Ukrainian woman was, those same right-wing nuts dropped the story. They didn't care about Ukraine, didn't care about her, didn't care about passenger safety on trains. And instead, it was all about, look at the next white victim, Charlie Kirk. Political footballs in the game of power politics. That's what's going on here. But as far as I'm concerned, if all of these mass killers who we know that there's nothing wrong with, if these guys automatically get told that there must be something wrong with them, they have to have some sort of screw loose and that they can't stand for trial because clearly they need mental rehabilitation, not prison bars. Well, if that's the standard that it is for all these other guys, then don't whine when somebody says that should be the standard for Mr. Brown as well. Because to have a two-tiered system based entirely on skin color, well, that is what's crazy. Good day and be one. I'd like to take a moment to mention some of our contributors. Stay Positive, Mason, Foe of the Munafakeen, Gregory Franklin, and Omari Howard. Salute to them and thank you to everyone for listening, liking, and sharing this message. Black empowerment only exists because...
Well, only thing I can say about that there, ladies and gentlemen, okay, why are we not surprised? And plus that there too, this episode is being shadow banned, by the way, okay? And I see we had somebody there.
Remember, they were all up in arms when this happened, Shabaka.
Right.
And now they're upset because he's not facing trial for what he did. But they didn't have no problem picking up Lady Chay's dude, what's his name, Daryl Brooks Jr., that ran over all the white people at that parade in Wisconsin.
Oh, yeah. That was a couple of years ago, and I see Dynamite fell off. Oh, there he is. Okay, Dynamite is back on. Okay, so therefore, people there really are messing with the algorithms on this
crew. Can't come up.
You are banned. Get your ass up out of here. You are banned.
Crew, you can't be on Shabaka's Blacc Experience Enhanced. You can be on Frontline, but you can't be on Shabaka's. That's what we agreed to, so we're going to bid you a farewell.
Yeah, kick him out.
He got a wrench. I can't kick him out. They just got to leave himself.
Okay, fine. Okay, just don't bring him up here. Okay. All righty. And the thing is once again, as we always said, like Sidney Poitier has said so well in the movie, in the heat of the night.
I'll be doing fine. Tap in over there. Go ahead, Shabaka.
Okay, just like what Sidney Poitier said in the movie In the Heat of the Night, a classic line. You got white time in jail and you have colored time in jail. And the worst type of time to do is colored time. Yeah. You say, that's what that's all about. And then you had attorneys in these kangaroo courts, trying to rectify that horror, you know what I'm saying, which I respect them for. You see what I mean? But it's an uphill battle at a 60-degree incline, man. You know what I mean? You know, it's like you going up a straight wall, man, trying to get it. But what happened to you know, and justice for all? Just like what Al Pacino said that classic line in that film, the whole trial is out of order. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
And
I said from Dynamite. Dynamite.
What was that?
What are your thoughts on the DeCarlos Brown not facing trial?
I don't know much about that. Sorry, but I would tell y'all. I was looking at there's someone was found hanging from a tree. Somebody was found hanging from a tree in D.C. right behind the 4th District Police Station.
Again?
Well, I mean, no, this was in D.C. Right next to the 4th District Police Station at that. So, I mean, they gotta have video on that, you know.
Hey, Goddess.
Was this recently, Dynamite?
Yeah, about 7 days ago. They put it up. But yeah, and it was right outside of the police station. And weird thing about it is they didn't put it on. I didn't see it on any big broadcast, local news broadcast, except a little sidebar. Yeah, a little sidebar. That was it. But it was a 19-year-old Hispanic man, and the location that they found him is like the rear of the police station. Yeah, because I remember.
Okay, not cutting your wisdom.
Oh, go ahead, brother.
Okay, it seems to me if he's found 20 feet from the police station, that should be the main place where the investigation should start.
Yeah, I would think that they might have something to do with it.
Well, that's basically what I'm saying, Dynamite. You know what I'm saying? Because with them being that close to the crime scene, it's should be off the illogic of this kangaroo court judicial system. That there should be the first place they should start. And they should be going in there, arresting everybody from the supervisor on down to the low man on the totem pole. Hook them and book them.
Was it
being held
or black? Was it
Hispanic
or a black?
Hispanic. It said 19-year-old Hispanic.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, with
you
this,
know, we ain't having that in D.C. Not no on black folks. That's for sure.
Hold on, Dynamite. I hate to cut your wisdom. Okay, this is Shabaka's Blacc Experience, people. We deal with the Blacc Experience from the beginning of time to 10 minutes ago. It might be a horrible tragedy, but I'm sure the Hispanic community should go on and they should be able to handle it. That is their problem, not ours. And I don't mean to be in such a bad mood tonight, ladies and gentlemen, as this stuff is frustrating. But however, this is the business that we chose. You know, and plus that, you know, gotta go see the shrink tomorrow. You know what I'm saying?
By the way, don't talk to them, talk to us. Whatever you do not talk to them. Don't tell them nothing. Tell them in your mind everything is sunshine and butterflies in your head. There ain't nothing ever been wrong. Are you? Let me ask you a question. Are you easily angered? Nope. Not at all. It take a whole lot to get me angry.
Yeah. Hey, and I tell them, hey, I'm just as peaceful as a bull in a china shop. You know what I'm saying?
Can I tell you what happened, Reed? I'm telling you that. Matter of fact, you spark a memory because I'm glad you mentioned it again because I don't want you going down there talking. This would be a good experience for Shabaka. Don't talk at all. Just say yes. I agree with you. That's what you say. Tell them I agree. Okay. Well, look. Hey, check it out. Memoirs of a Black Panther, real quick. I'll make it real fast. Damn, it's kind of hard to make them fast, but I'm gonna do it fast as possible. Let's see. Cops were thinking that they were going to do the manhandle thing with me and my old lady when our kid was little, and I just wasn't having it. I was like, now, if you, and I didn't put my hands on nobody, I just simply said, if you think you bad enough to make me sit down on the ground, come right ahead and try it. They didn't do that. They didn't even give it a shot. I stepped back and, well, never mind. I won't make it real short. Let's just say I got anger management because of that, right? Now, I seen a guy go in there and he was spilling his gut. He was spilling his guts. He's like, he was just being honest, really. He wasn't sounding violent or anything. He was sounding so depressed, you know, like he wanted a shoulder to cry on. And here it is, these rotten SOBs. You can cry on my shoulder. Tell us all about it. But then after he finished, let me finish. After he finished. No, Shabaka, let me finish. This is for you. Listen, when he finished crying on their shoulders, they wrote him an evaluation, like right there on the spot, and had him detained. They had him detained, say he might be a harm to himself, just because he went up there and started crying his eyes off. You know, they asked me, say, hey, what about you? Are you easily angered? I said, me? Never. I was pissed off first day I walked in there. I made dude quit. He was in there for beating his old lady up. I said, man, I'm in here for jumping on the police. Homie, you come in with that bullshit, you gonna have a funky good time. He ain't come back no more after that. But that was funny because the guy that cried his eyes off and was so honest and was just asking them questions, and he was the one that I was like, man, tell me they did not just have this dude locked up. And me, I'm sitting up there telling them, I ain't telling you shit. I never get angry. Now, do I, Shabaka? You never seen me angry, have you?
Mr. Dynamite, you're perhaps one of the most peaceful gentlemen that I know.
Yes, indeed. And I'm gonna keep this copy of Shabaka's Blacc Experience Enhanced to take to court with me if I ever need it.
yeah, sir, you're very reasonable. Okay, we lost somebody. We lost our.
Whatever you do, don't tell him he'll be back. Don't say nothing when you get up there, Shabaka. Don't say jack. And for the listening audience, they try to set y'all up. They want to set you up. You know. Like the young dude that was with me, he was like, well, shit, she came at me wrong. She should get smacked the hell out of. You know, he was having a problem with his old lady. I said, whatever you do, you don't tell him that. Tell she was smacking on you, hitting on you, and you were just trying to get up out of there. You might have pushed her by accident. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, we can't tell them nothing. Okay, now you didn't know who the BR report is. The BR report is Shabaka Shankori and Black Lightning tomorrow night, if we can make it, 7 p.m. That's the BR report, the Black Revolutionary report. And I gave them a sneak preview of what some of the ones are going to cover tomorrow. But like you say, it's not our wheelhouse to get into what happened to the Spanish dude. But I just heard that a dude was found hanging from a tree by the 4th District police station. And I started investigating it. I was looking for clips and I couldn't find any. It was like 5 minutes before I came on here that I found out it was a 19-year-old Hispanic, you know? Yeah, but they should get on.
Our sympathies goes out to his family. Okay.
Yeah, but they should get on their own thing. Yeah, because we got.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Davion, we got Davion. What's his name? Davion. What was his last name? That was found. There he was missing, and then when they found him, they found him hanging from a tree in a young black dude, 20 years old,
Right.
21. Where was that? Marietta, Georgia.
Georgia, yeah.
I'm doing a lot of this from memory, so you know. So if I had all my stuff right in front of me, it'd be different. But still. And the dude that got killed down there in Michigan by the police. He got killed by the police. They chased him down on a bicycle, and then he ran behind them dumpsters, and then they shot him in the back. Well, actually, they sicked the dog on him first, and he was face down with the dog on his back, and then they shot him in his back. Yeah. Wow. Sure did. What was his name? I gotta think of his name. I remember his middle name, Trey. Yeah. But anyway, we got so much going on, brother. It's amazing.
Yeah. Okay, and so we need to start keeping logs on that there, Dynamite, and I'm talking to myself too because I've got a million things going on at once. Okay, Che will be back shortly. Okay,
but just remember, tell them you don't. That hey, you just. It was a one-time circumstance that say you shouldn't even be talking to me. Ha ha. Yeah, exactly. You know what I'm saying? And then the cold part about it is that these here are a lot of cases, Dynamite, that they have in California, something similar. Well, okay, and that's why they hated Johnny Cochran so much, man, because, you know, Mr. Cochran, you know, may he rest in power, you know, went pro bono a lot of times on this. Now, another case that I'm going to bring back out of Los Angeles County, and I don't know if Goddess Navi is familiar with this one, okay, is the Eula Love case. Okay, that there was 1979. Mr. Cochran was on that case as well, too. Because what had happened was it was very, very cold that winter in Los Angeles, okay? And what I mean by very cold, man, where it gets down to 40 degrees or below, okay? So what had happened was Ms. Love was cooking food, okay? Hey, Jesse, okay? And so the Southern California Gas Company came out there to shut off her gas. Ms. Love said, if you do that, then I could be hit with neglect, is because she has children in the house, because you're going to need the gas for cooking. You're going to need the gas, you know, for taking hot showers or hot baths or what have you. In other words, you need the gas, man, to basically keep your sanitation level up, right? And then, of course, to provide a proper environment, you know, for the children. So the Southern California gas man came out there to shut the gas off. She said, hey, please, please, please don't. So he proceeded anyway. So she popped him upside the head with a shovel. So he called the LAPD, and they put 32 bullets in this woman. Now, as you know, with a 9mm, you got 1 up and 10 down, right? No, is it 1 up and 15 down? You're talking about a motorcycle.
No, sir. No. I'm talking about a 9mm. I believe it's 1 up and 15 down. Yeah.
So, wait. No, the clip might be like 15-round clip, but I don't know about the up and down. You just put all the bullets in.
Okay, what the up is, where the up is, you take the full clip, Dynamite, okay? You load it, you pull back the slide, and you got 1 in the chamber. Okay?
Yeah, that's 1 in the chamber.
Right. So when you discharge the round, then the other 15 are going to come up. You see what I'm saying? Automatically. Okay. So Daryl Gates and his book called Chief that I've read twice, who is an avid bigot, and may Mr. Gates, Chief Gates or whatever, that you rest in piss. Okay. He's talked about this thing called rapid fire syndrome, where the police officers are so stressed out in a situation that they lose count of how many times they fired. But however, is that they are trained to kill. And as Goddess Navi stating, any one of them would have done the same thing. They didn't have to kill her. You are absolutely correct, Goddess Navi. Here's a black woman trying to provide for her children, right? Now, the gas man could have went up there and called up his supervisor and said, okay, well, we have a hardship case right here because it's so cold in LA this time. So we're going to give the woman at least 3 or 4 days, to come up with, to keep the gas on. Now, in the event that she could not have kept the gas on, this would have gave her time to maybe have her children go stay with relatives or what have you. They say, but to quote Brother Che, in a perfect world, you see what I'm saying? In a perfect world, and yes, Goddess Navi, Daryl Gates was an avid racist. I read his book, Chief. You see what I'm saying? And he had stated, and this is a direct quote out of his book called Chief, that he was a disciple, repeat, a disciple of William H. Parker, who was the police chief of the LAPD from 1949 to 1966, okay? But he stated that he was going to keep the LAPD real clean. So therefore, when they have, how should we say, individuals with questionable backgrounds who's saying that they're going to retire in Los Angeles, he will meet them at the train station. He will meet them at the airport and let them know, look, we know who you are. We know what you're about. So we're going to keep tabs on you. And they say he made them feel very, very uncomfortable. And then quite naturally, of course, when it came to the Black Panthers, okay, all right, the goddess you're saying is you meant the guy that cut off her gas, Shabaka, and I'm not familiar with Daryl, but has heard you mention him numerous lives on previous lives. Daryl Gates, Goddess Navi, was the police chief of the Los Angeles Police Department from 1978 to 1992. What had happened is that when the Rodney King case went down, and he was looking over the police reports. Yeah, we could hear you. Okay.
Yeah, you might want to turn your music off in the background.
Okay, and so what happened was, okay, is that he was looking at
I'm going to the next topic. And that is
okay, first let me finish this last sentence for Goddess Navi, Brother Che. Huh?
The untold abuse on sugar plantations worse. Thank you for holding it down.
Oh yeah. Okay. So anyway, Gates, he was retired. Okay. I'm gonna leave it at that.
Has a barbaric history as white gold that fueled slavery.
Okay, you got bad connection.
Slavery in France, 1848. Series of sugar wealth had already transformed
that's coming in real choppy.
Grand states, banks, ports, universities, you name it. Much of that prosperity roots in the labor of enslaved Africans. And yet, for generations, the stories of the sugar fields were overshadowed by other chapters of slavery.
Hold on to the video.
Sugar was capital intensive, labor hungry, and lethal. Between 1640 and 1840, the world sweetened its tea and pastries with crisp hardened by blood.
The video is in the Matrix. You might want to hold on to that. It's choppy. It's in the Matrix.
Now, the reason why that they wanted to get that sugar out is because, you see, this is what makes your Johnny Walker, your Jack Daniels, your E&J Brandy. You see what I'm saying? You know, just like when they had the Montgomery Brawl, you know what I'm saying? You had a lot of those Nabiscos out there with that false courage, and they went out there, started a fight, and they literally got their asses whooped that they brought on themselves. But you see, we're not supposed to be violent. We're not supposed to stand by there and protect our families. We're supposed to sit there and allow our daughters and our babies to be raped. You see what I'm saying? And this is why I have a problem with these chicken pecking, ass scratching Uncle Toms. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, Goddess Navi, that garbage called liquor, of course, you know? And then Goddess Navi. Okay, and then Goddess Navi up in Oakland, California. This must have been about 2016, 2017, if memory serves me correct, right? There were members, how should I say, of the Nation of Islam that was going into liquor stores in the Black community in West Oakland, okay? And they go in there and they'll greet the Muslim dudes, you know, with Assalamu alaikum, you know, may peace be upon you, and ask them, do they serve alcohol? And the Middle East Muslims said yes. They said, okay, man, you're going to quit selling it to our people. We don't care if you sell it to these Nabiscos. So what they did was, sister, they commenced to destroying it and putting work in. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. You see? And so, and I had to agree with it. You know what I mean? And then, I hate to say, okay, but then I had a friend, a former friend on Facebook who told me he was a businessman and that I was stupid and that I was full of hate. So he says to me that he owns 4 liquor stores. And I informed this individual that you are worse than a dope peddler. You see what I'm saying? Because alcohol causes diabetes, addiction within its own right. And I had to block the dude, you see, because I wasn't going to sit up there and argue with him. Now that man is grown. He could do what he want to do. You see, this is why when I go up here to the liquor stores or go to the convenience stores that sell booze, because here in Nevada, they sell booze 24/7. Hey, man, can you help me out? How much drinking you been today? Oh, man, I just had a little drink. So you standing there good and fucked up. So that tells me, man, you had you at least a half a pint and want to get some more. I feel sorry for him, okay? But I'm not going to support nothing, brother, that's going to have you kill yourself. So for all you haters out there that want to call me a black racist and all that crap, please fill up the YouTube stream with your hatred. Go to the Shabaka's Blacc Experience Enhanced like page. You know what I'm saying? Put your diatribes up in there. You see what I'm saying? I'll be more than happy to read your illogic and what have you. But then I'm going to send you the link to see for you to come up on this show. And then when your punk ass, coward ass don't, then I'm just going to go on and block you from the page. You see what I mean? And then the cold part about this here is that they say we don't deserve reparations. That happened so long ago and all that bullshit. Now, I'm going to say it again. Without that initial investment that they spent on slaves, making that sugarcane, the gross national product of the United States benefited greatly from it, even to this day, off of the concept of reinvestment. Now, when they left their money to their descendants, who is going to carry on their agenda, you see what I'm saying? They parlayed it again and again and again, made more money. And then keep in mind that they would not have been able to make that money had it not came off of that initial investment. You see what I'm saying? Okay. And the only thing I can say about it, man, you know, to do that, okay, that's just the law of economics, you see? But when we come up there with it, then they're going to sit up there and say that we're racist, and we're in no position to implement any type of racism. We control no police departments. We don't control no major industries. Lord knows we don't control no damn banks. You see, we do not control any high tech. So we are not in no position to implement any type of racism. You see what I mean? Give me some feedback on that, Dynamite.
Okay. Yeah. They, put the drugs and alcohol into the black communities to tear the family apart and make sure that the men do something stupid under the influence of alcohol to wind up in jail, you know, or
exactly.
Or to ruin the family some kind of way, you know. But yeah, they've been oh man,
it's a triple cut with the sword, Dynamite.
Yeah.
It's a triple cut with the sword.
But we let them. I mean, we allow it because just like the stores, the liquor stores in DC, that we've shut down. The new Blacc Panther Party has shut down in the past. And just for them to just continue on business as usual, more shootings of more black people the very next day, next week, next month, and to be the same spot all the time. And why can't we just say, hey, wait a minute, enough is enough of feeding the poison into our communities. We need to just shut them down, all the way.
Right. Yeah, exactly. You see what I'm saying? And then, of course, as we do know, during the Reagan regime, when they put the crack cocaine epidemic in the black community.
Yeah, I was just thinking about that. They got over crack, they'll get over the damn alcohol.
Yeah, right, exactly. You see what I'm saying? So now,
it's like they got over what was before that, that Love Boat. Love Boat, they got over that. They got over crack. They back to weed, and they trying to poison the weed with the fentanyl. So y'all better be careful. Exactly. Like you said, you can soak it or see if you turn numb. Yeah, or see if your face turn numb right away, put it out immediately.
Yeah, exactly. See, because when it starts turning yellow, rainbow colors and all that, them is chemicals. And to prove this, just get you a bucket of rainwater, spray some WD-40 in it. You're gonna see it change. Put any other like bleach or whatever, it's gonna change. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
You see,
but the poison is the point of keep on introducing one poison after another. Yeah,
exactly. And that's what the Queen Mother was saying about, and you know who I'm talking about. May she rest in power. You see what I'm saying? Okay.
And then we got this new one. They got this new one coming out where just like they had COVID. So they like to spray chemicals over the cities, especially black neighborhoods, to make them sick. To make them sick, they got a new thing called rotavirus. Now the rotavirus gives people diarrhea and make them throw up, and babies and young people. Well, infants and youth could die from it. It's called rotavirus. I was gonna bring it up tomorrow, but yeah.
Okay, no. Yeah, we'll talk briefly on it, man, and just elaborate it on more tomorrow. So what it is that they want to kill our youth. Okay, it's because what the Nabisco is afraid of is retribution. You see. And I've been cussing clowns out all day on social media, calling me all kind of foul crap,
Not only that, they got the depopulation. They don't care as long as they depopulate because they can't feed everybody. Like somebody was saying, how come the graveyards don't fill up? People keep dying. Well, for one, most people can't afford to get buried anymore, so they all getting cremated.
Exactly. You see what I'm saying? Exactly.
And then they making people burgers, like Soylent Green.
That's just what I was about to say. Soylent Green. Now, see, the thing is, you have to understand, Soylent Green was made about 1970, I believe. Then they made another film called The Omega Man. Then they made another film called The Omega Man. With contamination of the medical supplies. You see what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then the cold part about it is that when we speak on such things, they always are coming back to us with the nonsense and hatred and stuff like that. Okay. Brother Chase states that he's restarting the house Wi-Fi. Okay. So once again, here they go, messing with our algorithms. You see what I mean?
I look at it like that. It could be the weather or a lot of different things too,
Yeah,
let certain things get out. Like something like tomorrow for the Black Revolutionary Report at 7:00. I really want to dive deep into this, the motive behind Shamar Elkins shooting his 8 kids and wife in Shreveport, Louisiana tomorrow.
Okay, I see Brother Chase. Yeah, I see Brother Chase back with us.
Hey,
okay.
what up, Shay? Blacc?
Yeah, Black Power. Yeah, we covered that on Black News Dynamite.
Yeah,
we're gonna dive deep into it tomorrow because she was like leaving him, and he had told her before the relationship, if you ever leave me, I kill you, stuff like that. But they started to say, well, maybe he was in a homosexual relationship, and that's why. But that's what they saying on the internet. I ain't got, who knows? We'll find out, right? but saying she had the goods on him, was gonna spill the beans. But why would he kill his whole family? That's crazy as shit. And he was in the military. He was ex-military at that.
Okay, all right, then now that there explains 90% of it right there is because he had them skills and they just kicked in.
But them kids was 1 to 14 years old.
I know, when the kids were innocent.
And it was like one of them, was it the mother? I think somebody up on the rooftop with one of the other kids, and they the one that called 911. They jump off the rooftop. That's crazy. Hell, you know. Now his name was Shamar Elkins. If you want to look it up.
Okay, and you just. Okay.
You breaking up again, Shay.
Okay, Brother Shay, you coming in choppy.
The sugar that saturates the American diet has a barbaric history as the white gold that fueled slavery. The time abolished slavery in 1833 in France in 1848. Since sugar wealth had already
Okay, yeah, that is coming in choppy, Brother Che. Okay, try to restart the Wi-Fi again. Okay, and make sure it has a power source all the way up to 100%.
Use Ethernet. Use Ethernet if you're going to do video. Definitely use Ethernet. Don't use Wi-Fi. Use Ethernet. You know?
Okay, well, see, I have Ethernet Dynamite because I can't plug it into no phone jack here.
Yeah, you got to be. I'm talking about on your computer. You got to be straight Ethernet. You know, have that shit hot wired. Is what you
Okay, you're talking about on a desktop, right? Because I'm on a laptop.
Laptop, desktop, whatever, you know, laptop, you plug that joint in too. You know, just got to have a switching board. I mean, not a switching board, a little thing where you can plug in a whole bunch of stuff.
Right.
I got a Ray-Q cube that you can plug about, I don't know, 8-9 things into.
Okay, yeah, because I see, you know, that's why you're sounding real good, you know.
Oh, right now we on the phone, but lately, shoot, I'm going full force. We going with the we definitely need them contributions because the microphones ain't cheap. The cheapest ones I can find is worthwhile is 500 and something, but we gonna rock with it anyway, you know.
And I ain't got it like that on my end.
Oh man, I can't hold it back. They got all these new cameras coming out, you know. Right. Now I've been looking at whatever is going to be Netflix ready, you know, so we can make a nice documentary, like a Panther documentary, and sell it to Netflix. Now I heard this one guy, he was talking about wait a minute, hold on one second. There's one guy, he was talking about he didn't see the point of using 8K and 12K because YouTube don't use that. I said, well, his mindset is definitely limited. I'm thinking about Netflix. Shit, not YouTube. You gotta go Netflix.
Okay,
so I've been seeing stuff out there from 6K to 12K. We getting ready to go all the way. Black out. Yes, sir. But we need them contributions from the public tomorrow on the BR report.
All right. Okay.
Let's try this again.
Sugar cane,
cotton bent backs, sugar crushed lives. The sugar that saturates the American diet has a barbaric history as the white gold that fueled slavery. By the time Britain abolished slavery in 1833 and France in 1848, centuries of sugar wealth had already transformed Europe. Grand estates, banks, ports, universities, you name it. Much of that prosperity had roots in the labor of enslaved Africans. And yet, for generations, the stories of the sugar fields were overshadowed by other chapters of slavery. Sugar was capital intensive, labor hungry, and lethal. Between 1640 and 1840, the world sweetened its tea and pastries with crystals hardened by blood, heat, and unrecorded graves on plantations where black bodies were treated as fuel, not people, and where death was not a failure of the system, but a calculated cost. Historical consensus indicates that the brutality and mortality rates on Caribbean sugar plantations were significantly worse than on southern U.S. cotton plantations. The conditions on sugar plantations were so severe that the enslaved population often experienced a natural decrease, requiring continuous importation of new enslaved people from Africa to maintain the labor force. Now let's go find out what living inside a sugar plantation is like for the black slave. There was a time in human history when something as sweet as sugar carried the bitter weight of unimaginable suffering. Every spoonful that sweetened tea in London in 1700, every cube into coffee in Paris in 1750, every sack shipped into the ports of Boston in 1770 had passed through fields soaked not just with rain, but with sweat, with blood, and with broken lives. And nowhere was that suffering more brutal than on the sugar plantations.
Right. Wow.
Picture the island of Barbados in 1735. The sky is still black when the plantation bell rings. It is 3:30 in the morning. In the slave quarters, small wooden huts with dirt floors, men, women, and children rise slowly from rough boards that serve as beds. Their bodies ache from yesterday's labor, but the overseer's whip does not care about pain. A man or woman bought between 1740 and 1770 for a prime working age of 18 and 25 steps into a day engineered for exhaustion. By 5 a.m., cane cutting begins. Sugarcane leaves sliced skin like knives. Stalks are heavy and fibrous. The sun climbs fast. By sunrise, their arms and backs are already streaked with cuts. Each cane stalk is thick and heavy. Workers swing machetes thousands of times a day. Their task is relentless. Cut, bundle, carry. By 10 a.m., dehydration sets in. Water is rationed. Meals, usually salted fish or cornmeal, are taken while standing in minutes around 1 p.m., then work resumes. Harvest season, the crop runs relentlessly, lasting from dawn until nearly midnight. From August to January in the Caribbean, varying by island, labor stretches 16 to 20 hours a day. Unlike cotton plantations in places like Mississippi during the 1800s, sugar plantations operated almost like industrial factories. Cane must be crushed within 24 hours of cutting or it spoils. So when night fell, the work simply moved from the fields into the boiling houses. There, enslaved workers fed stalks into grinding rollers powered by animals or water mills. Others stirred massive copper vats of boiling sugar juice, heated by roaring furnaces. The air inside was suffocating. Temperatures often reached over 100 degrees Fahrenheit, 38 degrees Celsius. Boiling sugar splashed and burned flesh. If someone's hand slipped into the rollers, the machine did not stop. The hand was crushed, sometimes the arm, sometimes the entire body. Plantation owners often considered it cheaper to replace a slave than to stop the machine. Fires under boiling houses burn through the dark. Sleep, if it comes, arrives near 2 a.m. in huts overcrowded with black slaves. Then the bell again, life. Expectancy on many sugar estates hovered between 7 to 10 years after arrival during peak expansion, between 1700 to 1780. Replacement was cheaper than rest. For thousands of years, cane was a heavy and unwieldy crop that had to be cut by hand and immediately ground to release the juice inside, lest it spoil within a day or two. Even before harvest time, rows had to be dug, stalks planted, and plentiful wood chopped as fuel for boiling the liquid and reducing it to crystals and molasses. From the earliest traces of cane domestication on the Pacific island of New Guinea 10,000 years ago to its island hopping advance to ancient India in 350 BC, sugar was locally consumed and very labor intensive. It remained little more than an exotic spice, medicinal glaze, or sweetener for elite palates. It was the introduction of sugar slavery in the New World that changed everything. The true age of sugar had begun, and it was doing more to reshape the world than any ruler, empire, or war had ever done. Mark Aronson and Marina Budhos write in their 2010 book, Sugar Changed the World. Over the 4 centuries that followed Columbus's arrival, on the mainlands of Central and South America and Mexico, Guyana and Brazil, as well as on the sugar islands of the West Indies, Cuba, Barbados, and Jamaica, among others, countless indigenous lives were destroyed and nearly 11 million Africans were enslaved, just counting those who survived the Middle Passage. White gold, being what it was called, drove trade in goods and people, fueled the wealth of European nations, and for the British in particular, shored up the financing of their North American colonies. There was direct trade among the colonies and between the colonies in Europe, but much of the Atlantic trade was triangular. Enslaved people from Africa, sugar from the West Indies and Brazil, money and manufactures from Europe. Before, French Jesuit priests planted the first cane stalk near Baronne Street. In New Orleans in 1751, sugar was already a huge moneymaker in British New York. By the 1720s, one of every 2 ships in the city's port was either arriving from or heading to the Caribbean, importing sugar and enslaved people, and exporting flour, meat, and shipbuilding supplies. The trade was so lucrative that Wall Street's most impressive buildings were Trinity Church at one end, facing the Hudson River, and the 5-story sugar warehouses on the other, close to the East River and near the busy slave market. New York's enslaved population reached 20%, prompting the New York General Assembly in 1730 to issue a consolidated slave code, making it unlawful for above 3 slaves to meet on their own, and authorizing each town to employ a common whipper for their slaves. In 1795, Etienne de Boré, a New Orleans sugar planter, granulated the first sugar crystals in the Louisiana Territory. With the advent of sugar processing locally, sugar plantations exploded up and down both banks of the Mississippi River. All of this was possible because of the abundantly rich alluvial soil, combined with the technical mastery of seasoned French and Spanish planters from around the cane-growing basin of the Gulf and the Caribbean, and because of the toil of thousands of enslaved people. More French planters and their enslaved expert sugar poured into Louisiana as Toussaint Louverture and Jean-Jacques Dessalines led a successful revolution to secure Haiti's independence from France. Within 5 decades, Louisiana planters were producing a quarter of the world's cane sugar supply. During her antebellum reign, Queen Sugar bested King Cotton locally, making Louisiana the 2nd richest state in per capita wealth. The state ranked 3rd in banking capital behind New York and Massachusetts in 1840. The value of enslaved people alone represented tens of millions of dollars in capital that financed investments, loans, and businesses. Much of that investment funneled back into the sugar mills, the most industrialized sector of Southern agriculture. No other agricultural region came close to the amount of capital investment in farming by the eve of the Civil War. In 1853, Representative Miles Taylor of Louisiana bragged that his state's success was without parallel in the United States, or indeed in the world, in any branch of industry. The enslaved population soared, quadrupling over a 20-year period to 125,000 souls in the mid-19th century. New Orleans became the Walmart of people selling. The number of enslaved labor crews doubled on sugar plantations, and in every sugar parish, Black people outnumbered whites. These were some of the most skilled laborers doing some of the most dangerous agricultural and industrial work in the United States. In the mill, alongside adults, children toiled like factory workers with assembly line, precision, and discipline under the constant threat of boiling hot kettles, open furnaces, and grinding rollers. All along the endless carrier are ranged slave children, whose business it is to place the cane upon it when it is conveyed through the shed into the main building. This was particularly attested to by Solomon Northup in his 1853 memoir of being kidnapped and forced into slavery on Louisiana plantations. He had named it 12 years a slave. Sugar entered European diets as a luxury after 1099, but it became an obsession after 1640 when Caribbean production exploded. By 1655, England seized Jamaica. By 1660, sugar dominated its colonial economy. France followed, turning Saint-Domingue into the richest colony on earth by 1789, supplying roughly 40% of Europe's sugar. This wealth depended on mass enslavement. Sugar profits reshaped entire economies. By 1750, British consumers were eating nearly 20 times more sugar than they had in 1650. Cities like London, Liverpool, and Bordeaux grew wealthy from sugar in the slave trade. Ships sailed a triangular route, Europe to Africa to Caribbean to Europe. Guns and goods were traded for enslaved Africans. Africans were traded for sugar, rum, and molasses, and the cycle continued for centuries.
They got captured too. Who did
Between
the trade.
1500 and
Look, put that fact in
1867, historians estimate over 12 million Africans were forced across the Atlantic, many of them destined for sugar plantations, because sugar plantations had the highest death rates in the slave world. Between 1701 and 1800, over 6 million Africans were trafficked across the Atlantic, with sugar regions absorbing the largest share. In Brazil, sugar plantations expanded from 1530 onward. By 1750, Brazil had imported more Africans than any other colony. Sugar was capital intensive, labor hungry, and lethal. From 1640 to 1840, sugar-bound continents, African capture zones, Atlantic crossings, Caribbean and Brazilian mills, European tables. Every crystal carried a date, a wound, a scream. The system was coherent, profitable, and merciless by design. The surrounding reality of Black lives and sugar stank of molasses and smoke, skin cracked from heat, eyes burned from ash, nights echoed with screams from the punishment yard. Graves were shallow, unnamed, countless with Black lives frittering every day like disposable wastes. On December 25th, 1787, while Europe celebrated sweetness, another body was buried before dawn, replaced by the next ship. Enslaved Africans were not merely workers, they were consumables. Europe's appetite was insatiable. In the 1700s, average English sugar consumption was about 4 pounds per person per year. By 1800, it exceeded 18 pounds. Each increase demanded more land, more mills, more bodies. Wow. Plantations in Jamaica in 1780, enslaved workers who failed to meet cutting quotas could face savage punishment. Whipping was the most common. Men and women alike were tied to wooden frames and flogged with leather whips until skin tore open. Records from Caribbean. Plantations describe punishments of 50 to 200 lashes. Salt or lime juice was sometimes rubbed into wounds afterward, not for healing, but to intensify pain. Some enslaved people were forced to wear iron collars with long spikes. Others were chained for weeks, and some punishments were meant to terrify everyone watching. Burning, branding, mutilation, even execution. On cane plantations, there is no distinction as to the days of the week. Northup, in his 12 years a slave, had also attested. Fatigue might mean losing an arm to the grinding rollers or being flayed for failing to keep up. Resistance was often met with sadistic cruelty. A formerly enslaved Black woman named Mrs. Webb described a torture chamber used by her owner, Valson Marmillion. One of his cruelties was to place a disobedient slave standing in a box in which there were nails placed in such a manner that the poor creature was unable to move. She told a WP interviewer in 1940. He was powerless even to chase the flies, or sometimes ants crawling on some parts of his body. Louisiana led the nation in destroying the lives of Black people in the name of economic efficiency. The historian Michael Tadman found that Louisiana's sugar parishes had a pattern of deaths exceeding births. Backbreaking labor and inadequate net nutrition meant that slaves working on sugar plantations were, compared with other working age slaves in the United States, far less able to resist the common and life-threatening diseases of dirt and poverty. Life expectancy was less like that on a cotton plantation and closer to that of a Jamaican cane field, where the most overworked and abused could drop dead after 7 years. Discipline on sugar estates was immediate and spectacular. On March 3rd, 1772, a missed quota could mean 50 to 100 lashes before sunset. Whips were braided with metal. Stocks and iron collars were common by 1720. Runaways were branded. Repeat attempts ended in bout, mutilation, or death. In boiling houses, a shove could mean falling into vats, heated above 100 degrees Celsius. Women bore a distinct terror. Plantation records across the Caribbean document sexual coercion as routine. Young girls, some as young as 12 years to 14, were targeted by overseers and owners. Refusal invited punishment. Compliance offered no protection. Even wives of enslaved men had no protection. They were often assaulted to assert dominance. Their had no legal standing. An enslaved husband could do nothing if his wife was taken. Children born from these assaults became slaves themselves. This brutality was not hidden. It was normalized. Plantation records from Saint-Domingue in 1788 openly referred to enslaved women as breeding stock. Their bodies were treated as extensions of plantation wealth. Pregnancy did not often labor. In 1796, regulations in Jamaica nominally limited work for pregnant women, but enforcement was rare. Many returned to the fields within weeks of childbirth. Infant mortality exceeded 30 to 40% on some estates between 1750 to 1800. Men, too, lived under constant threat. Resistance, slow pace, speaking back, invited public punishment. Terror was communal. It taught obedience. Most of these stories of brutality, torture, and premature death have never been told in classroom textbooks or historical museums. They have been refined and whitewashed in the mills and factories of Southern folklore. The Romantic South, the Lost Cause, the popular Moonlight and Magnolias plantation tours, so important to Louisiana's agritourism today. The cotton era was deadly for Black slaves, but sugar was far worse than one can imagine. Historians have long noted that life expectancy on sugar plantations was horrifyingly short. On some Caribbean plantations in the early 1700s, enslaved workers survived only about 7 to 10 years after arrival. The labor was simply too punishing. On the other hand, cotton plantations in the United States during the 1800s were brutal as well. Enslaved people were often seen as long-term property. Cotton expanded rapidly after 1793 with the cotton gin, but sugar had already perfected industrial brutality. Sugar planters did frequently work enslaved people to death and replaced them with newly trafficked Africans. The system was designed not for sustainability, but for maximum extraction. Cotton allowed seasonal rhythms. Sugar demanded unbroken cycles. Cotton plantations relied on growth. Sugar relied on replacement. In Louisiana, sugar's rise after 1795 mirrored Caribbean cruelty. Amputation accidents at mills surged, and death rates eclipsed nearby cotton estates by 1810. Sugar was an assembly line before factories. It ran on flesh. Sugar taught the modern world a terrible lesson: that pleasure could be engineered from suffering, that profit could be measured against lives and still be deemed successful. Yet within that furnace, people endured. They loved, remembered names, whispered languages, and sometimes rebelled. Most powerfully in 1791, when Saint-Domingue ignited a revolution that would become Haiti by 1804, shattering the sugar empire's illusion of permanence. Today, when sweetness dissolves on the tongue, history asks us to remember the heat it came from, and to choose, finally, not to sweeten the world at the cost of human lives. That brings us to the end of yet another video of immense reflection on a reality experienced by a people, like everyone else. People who should and must be respected. Support our works by hitting the thumbs up button. Share with friends and families to help in spreading histories on Black struggles and awareness. And subscribe to stay tuned in so you don't miss out on any updates. Most importantly, join our community on WhatsApp, where share interesting Black histories with you just the way they come. Thank you for watching.
All right. Okay, that sounds like Brother Jermaine out of the South right there, out of Louisiana. And this here just supported our more reason for the demand for reparations. Look how greatly.
I'm kind of pressed for time now, Shabaka, so I got to move to the next topic.
All right.
And that is Pan-Africans spread lies about Delineation. So Afro needs to give us an update on that. I'm gonna play until he opens the phone lines. This is probably the last.
Okay, and then and the Stinky Bird lawsuit and free speech, we'll just put that there on another platform, on another episode.
Yeah, I might put on
myself.
Later.
Yeah.
Pan-Africanists, they're mad. They're mad at Foundation Black Americans for what? The same thing they've always been mad as, us not prioritizing African and Caribbean immigrants. They're out there and they're trying to put this label again. This is something they do all the time. They're trying to put this label of hate group and this group that needs a leader and y'all not really doing it. They're trying to do it again. They're out there with slightly newer talking points though. But it's important for us to listen to this so we can debunk this, because this is trying to be the precedent of their arguments going forward. All right, y'all stay tuned.
The price of freedom is death. We're coming to get our check.
All right. I appreciate y'all being here. I do. We're gonna start off, and I've talked about this guy before. He knows me. It's the Afro, the battle of the Afros. Okay, Afro elite versus Afro think tank. If he ever wants to pull up and have a debate, he can feel free to. But we have the Pan-Africanist Afro think tank. He has something to say about reparations and things like that, and how we are pretty much stopping the takeover from Ghana and the African Union about our reparations. So we're gonna debunk that. We're gonna play this. All right, here we go.
What's going on, everybody's Afro think tank. African American challenge the African Union on our reparations and reparative justice. I know a lot of people don't know that happens, but African Americans and our African American representatives, as we are the 6th region of the African Union, we have our representatives, the ones that represent African Americans, our individual distinct ethnic group in the African world stage, the African Union, right? And we question these African countries that participated or benefited from the transatlantic slave trade, how they plan on giving us
and them motherfuckers got captured too.
This is something Pan-African's been doing for a while.
They still
so you got your.
Before we go there, can somebody explain to me how and when it was decided that America would become the 6th region of the African Union? And then if there is a representative that is supposed to represent what you call African Americans, really foundational Black Americans, but if there is a representative that is supposed to represent our lineage, I need to know, who is that? Who is that? When do we vote? When do we write in? When do we press a ballot? When do we send a vote and decide who our representative is going to be, that's going to represent our lineage in Africa and in a part of the African Union? Because I missed that. Did y'all miss that? I missed that. I missed that vote. I missed that survey. So who is this that is supposed to be represented? Who is that? Huh? Y'all just doing whatever, huh? And see, this is why Ghana was shut down. I'm already getting started. Hold on. Let me just dial back and let's let them talk.
They did right to shut down Ghana.
Dennis Sperling sitting here pretending like he's going to sue somebody. Like you late to the party. All right. We don't already got legislation started already. All right. You got your Phil Scotts and your Tariq Nasheeds and all these xenophobic, hateful individuals that want to put all the onus on Africa, and they don't want to put no onus on white America because they're good with white America. They good.
And see, that's a straw man argument. Phil Scott and Tariq Nasheed putting all the onus on Africa.
That's a very factual statement.
All the onus on Africa. We're demanding reparations from the American government. But the thing is that we're not going to sit here and let Africa pretend to be victims of a crime that they participated in, which, according to him, would be okay. Because when we get up there and we stop that, he's going to sit up there and call us xenophobic for doing so.
A year. They don't forgave them for everything. They appreciate them for giving them Christianity and giving them Western civilization and giving them the infrastructure they need to be as close to white supremacy as they can as brown and black people. They really enjoy that. They ethno-nationalism. They are definitely on the Washington side, not the Du Bois side. They're definitely on the Washington side of the debate, not the Du Bois side of the way. They gear towards toxic masculinity because that is their connection to white supremacy, utilizing toxic masculinity. As you notice, all these guys are red pillars, women haters. They all fall in the same category, right?
It's an idiot.
Sometimes you just gotta laugh at this. Do y'all know Myron? I think I showed y'all when Myron cussed me out, called me Captain N-word, me and Myron going back and forth and all that. Myron from Fresh and Fit, whose real name is like Amru Foodie or something like for that. That Myron Gaines is not his real name. It's Amru Fruity or something. And we've drugged this man through the mud for filth. Red pill, what? These are just buzzwords and jackets that you're trying to throw on anybody who's advocating for foundational Black Americans to the people who might not know exactly, who are newer to it, the newer or maybe fresher, I would say, audience, who are just getting into the field and trying to figure out what is what and whose stance is where. And then if you say, well, these people, they're a bunch of toxic masculinity, red pill, MAGA, Russian robot, communist, xenophobic, broke. Oh, like when you put all of these jackets on somebody, what you are attempting is not gonna work, but you're attempting to do is to sway people who don't know what FBA means. You're attempting to install a bias against them, against us, for them, into them. So that way, when somebody says FBA, they will automatically think, oh, here comes that red pill, xenophobic, white nationalist thing. That's what you're trying to do, but it's not working. It's not working. It's not going to work. I'm trying to tell you.
But I just want you guys to know. That it's the Pan-Africans and our true representation of our African-American ethnic group that is, in fact, questioning African nations and institutions about reparative justice and reparations, because the only true reparations movement happening at all is Pan-Africans. We are the serious people in the room. As FBAs and ADOs are not serious people. They are meant to divide and conquer. Their only purpose is to divide and conquer and distract and delay, while the Pan-African, in every institution that we have, that we can wield any kind of power, in every institution where we're given a microphone and able to talk and say the things that need to be said to the people that need to hear it, that's what Pan-African is doing. So here's proof, so you can see that we've been active. And this is old, because we've been doing it. It's not new.
The way y'all are trying to rebrand Pan-Africanism and rewrite history is insane. That is insane. Pan-Africanists have been the ones telling us we don't need reparations and we shouldn't be asking for anything from the white man. And y'all been the one, like Dr. Umar, y'all have been the one saying that, man, what y'all gonna do is y'all gonna take these reparations and y'all gonna go buy Jordans and Nikes and Cadillacs and stuff, and y'all gonna go to these white businesses. We don't need no reparations. That's been the stance of Pan-Africanism. Now that reparations has gotten too far, and everybody is collectively starting to get on board with reparations as far as the lineage is concerned. Now y'all want to jump in front of it just like Ghana does. Now y'all trying to sit up there and say, well, you know what? Actually, we've always supported reparations. And as a matter of fact, nobody else supports reparations but us. We're the only people trying to do anything about reparations. What are you talking about? Y'all want to hold Africa accountable. We've been the ones sitting up there saying, hey, you know what? The Africa and then African people, there's an issue that we need to address. Y'all have been the ones labeling any type of addressing of issue, any type of acknowledgement of an issue when it comes to Africans or Africa as xenophobic and anti-African. That's what they have been doing. Okay. Yeah. When we said, hey, hold on, we need to hold them accountable. Y'all, hold on, let me get this all the way off the screen. Let's talk to you. In this very video, he said, you know, the people who want to put the onus on the transatlantic slave trade all on Africa, which is not what we're doing, but that's how they frame it. They frame any accountability as y'all not going after the white man because y'all scared. That's what they say. Now you're telling me that y'all doing it? Y'all don't hold Africa or any African nation accountable. The only accountability has come from us. And now y'all saying, well, we're the ones who actually really, we the ones who doing the reparations thing. And we're the ones who are holding them accountable. Y'all not doing anything. They have to rewrite and retell all this history. Sad. It's pathetic, actually. It really is. Boy, I'm talking about the and you're doing this because the fact that we're holding people accountable the way we are is making Pan-Africanists, the way y'all been trying to put it out as this damn religion that worships the continent of Africa, is making y'all look bad. So now y'all got to sanitize y'all history and act like it wasn't Pan-Africanists speaking against reparations. Now y'all got to make it seem like y'all were the ones spearheading the whole reparations movement.
All right. So anyway, you tell me what you guys think in the comment section. Afro Think Tank. Learn something, teach something. I'm out.
All right, y'all. That's all I got to say. He goes on, but we're going to talk about something else. All right. Y'all, this is what we're talking about when it comes to Pan-Africanism. All right. The fact that you can't even say, you know what, our stance is wrong. These people have an ego issue, of a really bad ego issue. They can't say, like Umar, you know what, I was wrong for that. I thought this way. I thought we should have went this way. I was wrong. You know, I used to be on that type of time. Now I'm on this type of time. Even if they were wrong, even if we didn't trust them, I could give a little bit of respect for that, for the acknowledgement that they were wrong. But that's not even what they're doing. What they're sitting up here doing is pretty much saying we were never wrong. And this was always our stance, even though we know it's not. These have been the same people telling us, man, you think the government gonna give you reparations? Shh, no, the government is never gonna give you ain't gonna get nothing from the white man. You ain't gonna get nothing. I don't even know why you asking them. That's the stance that the Pan-Africanists have had. Now that reparations has gotten too far, now it's all of a sudden y'all ones pushing reparations? Really? When y'all not even doing that now. I'm talking about this is desperate. It just screams desperate. It screams it. But that's not what I really wanted to talk about. I wanted to go a little bit deeper into this subject right here. This one right here.
Ados and Diane.
All right. Hold on. Is this sped up a little bit? Okay, here we go. Y'all make sure y'all hit that like button, please. I appreciate y'all.
Casper Wars. Let's start with a video I contribute to, which is this video from Cam James on Tariq Nasheed and the FBA. But let me first be clear and fair. That today is the most gracious you'll probably ever see me with ADOS, because I find ADOS and its proponents to be not worthy of grace most of the times I encounter them. Like, I just don't agree. I had a somewhat cordial, I'll say a wholly cordial encounter with an ADOS representative some months back before I decided I was gonna do this video, who I tried to reach out to talk. That's about it. Like, every other time I've encountered people that are into ADOS, it hasn't been all that discernible from FBA nonsense. So I guess let me explain this for those in the chat. ADOS stands for American Descendants of Slavery. So here's a website that I was introduced to. So this is the ADOS Research Institute. This is what the dude sent me. I don't know who's over this, so what this is about, but they have two reports. We'll leave the Research Institute part to the side for a second, because I'm no major scholar. I don't use ADOS or FBA. I am a Black American. I am an African American. I roll with those. I don't do ADOS or FBA because those terms kind of ideology and a disposition I just generally don't agree with. So I don't call myself a Democrat. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't. Let
me correct something, because he's going to be using FBA and ADOS synonymously, and it's not that. It's not that. Listen. FBA does not come with an ideology. There's no requirement outside of you just being a part of the lineage. If you're a part of the lineage, then you are FBA. Whether you believe in Pan-Africanism or not, whether you believe in the Democrat, Republican or not, there's no political ideology. There's no cultural ideology or anything like that. Your lineage is your lineage. The thing is that they're trying to put this brand that FBA is a group within the lineage, and they're trying to say, well, that's just the ideology of the group. No, there's no shared collective ideology of 50 million people. That doesn't exist. And he knows that, because he knows somebody says, I don't want to say I'm an African American, because then they're going to think I share this ideology. People are going to look like, no, that doesn't make sense. And it doesn't make sense when it comes to FBA either. But in order to frame the group or the lineage as a group, you have to do that. They have to.
things I'm not going to call myself, and I'm not going to call myself ADOS or FBA. Now, if you're asking if my lineage is here in America, the answer is yes. I do not have any, as far as I know, direct lineage from outside of the United States. My mother and father are both from Chicago, born and raised. My grandparents, both born and raised in America. My grandmother is from Mississippi, like most Black people's grandmothers is from Chicago. My grandfather is from Chicago. I'm not fully sure of my grandfather's story. He was a bit of a hoodlum and he had a sketchy past. He's not foreign in any form or fashion. But when they pop up, they first say, is this person's Jamaican? He's clearly Nigerian. Oh yeah, my granddad was one of the original YNs. Mookie. That's a whole other conversation. But no, I don't have any Jamaican, Nigerian, Caribbean, or African direct descents.
Here's the official FBA website. I told y'all he built this. And at the bottom, it says Foundational Black Americans. Let's throw that joint in the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office site, and boom. That's your boy, right? Just in case you needed more proof, the earliest recorded
why is his stream going so fast?
He was just FBA mini flags. The earliest mention of the term is hard to pinpoint, but he was using it on another one of his sites in 2019. Here's proof of him creating the term in the first place, claiming he adapted from Dr. Claude Anderson's Native Black Americans term. The FBA movement started as January 2020 the 2020 election.
Man, we'll need to be on 80. So that's the first thing. People be like, FBA is a lineage, and it's like, if you're telling me y'all made up a new term, I get you, but it was made by King Grifter. Let's start that out first. This video.
Listen, and here's the thing, and I've said this for years before.
Talk shit about
let me take everything off the screen and tell you this. I want y'all can't see my eyes because I'm on your screen, but I want y'all to pretend that we're face to face in person. Okay, this is something that I have said for years. The people who claim that they have they're foundational Black American, they're Black American, they have no immigrant ties in their family, no lineage in their family, but they have a particular issue with the term FBA, because that's all it is. It's a term, it's an ethnonym, that's all it is. The people who have an issue with the term FBA, they have a personal issue with Tariq Nasheed. All right, there is the term is flawless, honestly, it really is. It's a flawless term. There's no real legitimate issue with the term FBA. Except people have an incredibly strong hatred for Tariq, and anything at all that they can tie to Tariq, they're going to reject it, period. And you're going to see so right now. You're going to see so right now. And this is what I've been saying for years. While people are like, well, actually, let's come up with this. Let's call ourselves this. Why do we got to call ourselves FBA? Just admit you don't like Tariq. Just admit you don't like Tariq. And then we can move on from that. But this is what I'm talking about right here.
Now, top 10 reasons I don't fuck with FBA AOS in no particular order. Number one is everything FBA is, as a record label, a crew, a clique, and a motherfucking crew. Everything that's ever been done by Tariq Nasheed is awful, just because he's involved with it. I don't care if Tariq Nasheed saved 2 babies from a burning building. Like, I'm happy those babies are alive, but it would have been better if he sacrificed himself in the process. Okay? Tariq Nasheed is King Grifter. I talked about him a long time ago. I'm gonna have to come back to it now, but he's just been like an awful dude for years at this point. And he was connected to another group.
Yo, do y'all see that? Is that okay? Is that what do you see the level of hatred you have to have for a person? And I don't even know if there's a person that I can say, especially another Black person, I can say that same thing about. That I would fix even if I feel that way, that I would fix myself to say that on camera and then post it. What I've never heard Tariq even address this guy. So it's not like they got some type of person. Now, maybe Tariq has, I don't know, but I've never heard Tariq address this guy. And the way that this dude brings up Tariq, like, what are you talking about? And like I'm saying, this is their problem with the term FBA. There's nothing wrong with this flawless term, baby. The problem is that they say, well, if FBA has anything at all to do with Tariq, I don't like Tariq. And they don't like Tariq because of what they call FBA or his stance on Pan-Africanism. They couldn't stand Tariq way before then. Okay, these are people who've had issues, whether it's out of jealousy, whether it's out of you blew me off one time, you embarrassed me one time. Well, regardless of whatever issue they have with Tariq, that is the reason. That is the reason. Okay, that they have such a flawed view of FBA. Therefore, there's nothing that somebody who uses FBA can do that he's going to co-sign and approve of. He's going to be against it specifically out of a personal issue. I guess some one-sided rivalry with Tariq. That's the reason.
Oh, got us.
ADOS, which started out as something that a lot of people seem cool with.
High-level trolls.
Over time, eventually showed his ass. We'll talk about that later. So he created this FBA concept. And FBA is basically a group of online weirdos. You can call it a lineage if you want. That's fine. Understand, other people that are connected to your lineage are a group of online weirdos. They're like black.
Well, I mean, yeah. There's online weirdos connected to everybody's lineage. There are some FBA online weirdos. Okay, there are some Caribbean online weirdos. There are some African online weirdos. There are some Italian online weirdos. There's in every single lineage. There's gonna be some weirdos. There's gonna be some odd people. Okay, that don't make them not a part of the lineage. Okay, before FBA ADOS, when we were just African American, there were African American online weirdos. Nobody's gonna be like, you shouldn't be African American because there's some weird dude in the basement who's also African American. Well, we didn't use that logic then, and why are we using that logic now? That's my question. That's just a bad argument.
4chaners, black Reddit energy, a bunch of white nationalists and blackface. You say they ain't just online. I take your word for it. I've never encountered these niggas in the wild. Now they may flow into different versions of hotepery, which has always been here, but the people that like brand themselves with ADOS are just a lot of online weirdos. So let's listen to that one more time. Man, we don't need to be on no ADOS, man. We need to be African. That's what Pan-Africanism is. Very come over here and get some we help accumulate for them, and then turn around and say, okay, thank you, and I'm about to go work with these white people.
Back then, Tariq was in line.
There's so much to unpack there. Fucking tragedy. Let's first still, man, where some of this comes from and talk about that term Akata. A term.
Okay, y'all listening? Are y'all listening? Now we're gonna get into the term Akata. Okay. Now, mind you, I played the clip I played before first because the Pan-Africanists will be the first one talking about how they be holding Africa accountable. Okay, they're talking about that, right? Fine. Let's listen to how the whole term Akata is handled right now. Let's pay attention.
I literally, my entire life, I just told y'all I grew up around Nigerians. I have never heard that term my entire life.
Ooh, okay, y'all heard that? He just told you he grew up around Nigerians and claims he never heard the word Akata. Let's just pay attention. Let's pay attention.
In real life, I've never heard that term my entire life. I am 43 years old. I grew up around Nigerians. I hung with Africans, dated the baddest Sierra Leonean chick at my school, at Clark. Never got hate from Africans in any form or fashion. I'm not saying it don't exist. What I'm saying is FBA people will make you think that Akata is some type of like deeply rooted anti-black slur that they grew up singing Negro spirituals about.
Okay. Here's the thing. Now he's going to say, because he has yet to experience the word, he's never heard the word be used. He's not going to say the word doesn't get used. That's not his argument. Okay. Because we got tons of receipts of them using the word, tons of video clips, tons of conversations, tons of tweets and posts of them using the word. So we're not going to pretend that the word does not get used. And we're not going to pretend that we are taking the word out of context, or that we're using the word doesn't really mean a bad thing and we're just pretending that it does or don't understand. He's not saying that. He's saying, well, I haven't personally heard the word being used. Well, okay. There's a lot of black people who may not have personally heard a white person call them the N-word. Are we going to say because that Tom and Chris have not heard a white person call them particularly the N-word means that white people don't do that? Are we going to say that then? Are we going to say that then?
I've
Come
got
on now.
low tolerance for Nabisco.
He's not arguing that it doesn't get said. He's just arguing that, oh, I haven't done it. But the thing is that even if you haven't heard them say the word Akata, have you heard them ever say, this is not just the word Akata, what we're getting to, the bigger point, y'all, let me get this all the way off screen so I feel like I connect with y'all better. The bigger point, family, is the anti-black sentiment and energy that they use when they use the word Akata and that they feel inside. That's the bigger point, okay? So even if they don't use the word Akata, they might use another substitute word or convey thoughts that are aligned with the slur Akata. Just like a white person may not use the N-word, but that doesn't mean he doesn't say anything racist. You might have a Nigerian who doesn't use the word Akata, but that doesn't mean that they don't say anything anti-black American. Do you understand the logic? Am I being understood, y'all? Put the 100 emoji in the chat room if I'm being understood, if you understand me clearly. Now, okay, he says that with the word Akata. Let's continue.
And FBA people think Nigerians are the black Targaryens. Or what were the actual black Targaryens? They were the Valerians? That's who ADOS actually think Nigerians are. Real talk, they talk about Nigerians like they're supervillains. This shit is hilarious. They talk about being called Akata as if African booty scratch wasn't a comeback.
No. First off, African booty scratcher was not no thing particularly for Nigerians or even Africans, all right? that was not no thing. But here's the thing: I haven't heard
What
anybody
about
use the word
the
African booty
unsanitized
scratcher.
Nabisco?
I've never heard anybody refer any Black American refer to an African as an African booty scratcher. Me personally. So does that mean it doesn't happen? Now you just tried to discredit our argument, or a part of our argument, by saying that you individually have never heard the word Akata be used. So therefore that just dismisses that argument. But now you're going to say, well, what about African booty scratcher? Well, hold on. So the Akata is only legitimate if you heard it, but African booty scratcher is legitimate because they say it was said. Do you see the logic? Do you see the bias in these Pan-Africanists? Do you see that?
Yeah.
Just the way they handle the word Akata versus African booty scratcher, because you're not going to gaslight Nigerians and Africans by saying, well, I never heard nobody use the word African booty scratcher. I think you're making it up. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what you're talking about at all. They don't gaslight them with the word African booty scratcher, but they're going to attempt to gaslight us with the word Akata. Okay. All right.
So Juicy made a very good video about this now 4 years ago, right? Juicy's I love Juicy's analysis. Juicy's very balanced but very principled. I'm gonna just put this in the description or whatever. If you want to talk about that, there is reason to critique some Black immigrants, especially in the media space, on their anti-Blackness. You can do that. That is a real thing. There is a propensity for behavior to come from a Black immigrant populations.
Okay, now what he's going to say right now is very important. Very. He said there is a propensity for anti-Black behavior coming from immigrants, okay? Which is what our argument was the whole time. That was our argument the whole time. While you're sitting up there gaslighting and saying that we're xenophobic or we're white nationalist adjacent by making the argument that you're going to have to eventually concede to, which is what he's doing now. But he's going to concede to it and water it down and make it seem like it's not nearly as severe as it really is.
Like, Juicy so perfectly looks the part of like the 92% and talks that game that the Black liberals be getting so close to her, and as soon as Juicy lets that little communist flag fly just a little, but they be pearl clutching when Juicy gives them some materialist analysis that calls out the bullshit. I love Juicy for that. Oh, there's critiques to make about Black immigrant populations and specifically their relationship with the media and how they're amplified in media. There's definitely a conversation about that. There's a conversation to have about anti-Blackness from those populations, because there is a propensity for anti-Blackness. Because first off, anti-Blackness, as I said in another video, everybody's got anti-Blackness in it. Every single last one of us. Now, you're either actively negotiating and fighting against it internally, you're actively resisting anti-Black tendencies, or you just actively are in the shit, or you act like you don't, but you do. That's just the reality of the situation. Nobody is immune to conditioning of the media and how we're meant to look and think of Blackness, regardless if that Blackness is American-born or internationally born. And so what happens, I talked about this with Foreign Man years ago as well, is that when you are Black, but you're not from America, it's easy to just assume that Black Americans are just out of our fucking minds. My parents are Jamaican. They grew me and my siblings up with the whole Black Americans are ghetto. They don't have a culture like us. Thankfully, me and most Americanized siblings have been able to change their mind. Yeah, because that's what's taught outside of America. America exports an image of Black Americans to be this deranged, uncivilized, barbaric thing to incentivize the idea that we are deserving of our treatment and condition here. They have to present us like this to the world. The world will be looking at what they're doing to us like, how is this something y'all are doing? Why is this supposed to be cool? People fall in line.
Okay. I'm going to pause that for a second. I'm going to read some of these super chats. That's what I'm going to do. And then I'm going to address that point, because that point was very important that we address. Okay. Shout out to my brother Cyberdon. I appreciate you, bro. Thank you very much. I appreciate you, fam. And then C. Briggs says, yo, Afro, do your thing, cook this musty tether FD signifier, but I can't stand to hear his tether lies. It's irritating. It is irritating. It is irritating. And I appreciate you. Sincerely, I do. Let's get to that point, shall we? The point he's making about, well, you got to understand, it was a lot of propaganda, and the propaganda that the West makes about Black Americans, and they import that, they send that to other people, and their perception of Black Americans is all ghetto and thug and criminal and this and that. And then when they come over here, they're already conditioned and brainwashed into thinking we're like that. So really, it's not
because Hollywood perpetuates that shit. That's why I say fuck Hollywood.
No. We're not gonna give them that pass. Because if it was just the we're going to break it up in two parts. If it was just the conditioning from the West, and the reason why they can't get along and they have this issue with Black Americans is because of the brainwashing conditioning from the West to their media, then they would be getting along with each other, don't you think? Let me repeat that. They would be getting along with each other, don't you think? Yet we see all of this tribalism, the fact that they cannot unify with each other, the fact that they cannot get along, the fact that they do not look out for each other. That is what's causing them to flee and leave. That is the reason. And it's not the Western powers puppet mastering them to fight each other. They're doing that because they believe in their own tribal beasts. Okay,
no, man, in the Western,
all of that,
you know,
the only reason they're fighting is because the West ain't got to do nothing to push tribalistic propaganda. They doing that themselves. They're doing that themselves. That's argument number one. So you trying to put all of the blame on the media, which I'm not trying to say is not a part of it, but you're trying to put all of the blame where it doesn't belong. Now, number two, on to our second argument. If that was the case, even if we give you the benefit of the doubt, what about your children? Huh? What about the next generation? Because let's be honest, most of the, especially predominant tethers that we have to deal with, they're first generation.
Tethers.
Remember, it wasn't long ago during Black History Month where you had a Haitian immigrant talking about how we dirty Black American. It wasn't because she believed in the propaganda fed to her in Haiti. It was because of how she was raised here. Now, when they're here, they don't have the propaganda excuse that y'all keep trying to give them because they're listening to the same media. They're in the same country. Okay, the same movies we watch is what they watch. TV we watch, they watch. Music we listen to, they listen to. The schools even we go to, they go to. So it's not like, okay, well, hold on, this is the propaganda from them. No, they're sticking to this belief, and y'all are giving them a pass. We're talking about immigrants, even if you want to give them that propaganda excuse, immigrants that were born and raised here are being loudly bigoted and xenophobic towards Black Americans. And if we call that out, y'all will say we're xenophobic. Y'all will say, well, you got to understand back in when they're home, when their grandpa, he didn't know any better. And it's all of these excuses that you give them. They don't deserve that. They know better. They're not doing that with nobody else. You can't give them that propaganda excuse. I don't even think that giving the first immigrants, the direct immigrants, the propaganda excuse, I feel like that's gone too far, especially in the 21st century where you got TikTok all over the world. We be opening our lives and all, and you got folks in the continent of Africa on TikTok. So all of that, well, they control the media and they control what you see. No, they know it. They know it. They be doing Michael Jackson impersonations and all that stuff. So you make it seem like the only thing they know about us is negative. No, they know it. We're not going to sit up there and give them the dummy pass. No. Let's continue, though. Let's continue. Shout out to y'all. If y'all can do me a favor, hit that like button. Shout out to y'all. All right, let's go.
Fine with that. And it takes a generation to be here to realize, oh, wait, no. Foreign man's talked about this before. He was like,
okay, if it takes a generation, I'm going to say this one more time, and I'm going to let it go. If it takes a generation, one generation is what he said, to be here and to realize that's wrong, then we should see dramatic improvement in the next generation. Yet we don't. Some of the biggest cases we talk about, Candace Owens, Myron Gaines, Coleman Hughes, come on. The biggest obstacles that we face, Brian Donalds, come on. The biggest obstacles that we face, come on. They're not, they are the next generation that you're saying would be better.
I came from the Bahamas to Iowa, of all places. I had a particular belief and disposition toward Black Americans that something was wrong with y'all. And after spending a little bit of time in this space and how I was regarded, it started to make sense. But not everybody has that. The crux of how this diaspora wars 80 shit started is a response to what is ultimately a white supremacist tactic to pit foreign-born Black people against domestically born Black Americans. That's where ADOS comes from. And they use internet troll tendencies to kind of drive that up.
Goddamn years.
Okay. Well, anytime he's talking about ADOS, because there's what he's really talking about is people advocating for the lineage. But here's the thing: if that's a white supremacist tactic to pit immigrants against us, Africans against Black Americans, and all of that stuff, why are you not putting the responsibility of correction of behavior on Africans? Notice that you'll say, oh, this is an overall plot to separate. It's a conquer and divide strategy, which I'm not going to say is entirely false. But why would you then put the blame on us and the responsibility to fix that on us instead of the perpetrators, the people who are coming to another person's country and doing problematic things? You're going to preach to the people, the native population, that we need to be better to the disrespectful, hostile immigrants because of a divide and conquer strategy instead of telling them they need to fix their behavior. That's his logic.
Very manosphere adjacent. What do the grippers call themselves? Operators. They have like people, their whole job is to just constantly churn memes and content. All black people will be as black as they possibly can when it's beneficial to them. And then as soon as they have an opportunity to distance themselves from that shit, they do. It's just easier for foreign-born black people. That is something that happens with some black immigrants. But here's the key thing I want you to think about, and I'm about to play this to get to it. How is that even possible? And that's the thing that will always frustrate me about even the most good-natured, civilized, sensible ADOS figures, is that the question around their entire ethos never gets back to why is our condition in this country the way it is for there to be an incentive to side against us with our oppressors? And why is that never a part of the practice and conversation with these types of individuals? Let's listen to what Nasheed says here one more time.
Lockstep with the ADOS movement, led by Yvette Carnell and Antonio Moore. Back then, Tangible was 2020 in the lead up to the 2020 election.
Man, we don't need to be on no ADOS, man. We need to be Pan-African. That's what Pan-Africanism is. Us fighting for everybody else to come over here and get some of the resources that we've helped accumulate for them. Us fighting for everyone else to get some of the resources we've helped accumulate for them. What does that mean? The resources we've helped accumulate. My nigga, do you mean slavery? Do you mean the prison industrial complex? You mean the civil rights movement? What are we talking about right now? It's America first, but black people. That's what it is. And I'll come back to that in a second. He did.
What do you mean? What? Okay, I'm gonna let him finish. Hold on.
And blink in saying that, and most ADOS will not blink in that framing of the situation where black people have worked and accumulated resources and done all these things in America, and we don't want to share our piece of the pie with immigrants. And there's never a conversation about how our piece of the pie is a slither of what we're actually fucking owed.
No, it is, and that's a bad faith argument. Let's talk about that. Okay, the resources that we've accumulated for them. Yeah. First of all, none of them would be here. I'm trying to say it so everybody can understand. They wouldn't be here if we didn't fight for the right for them to be here. There were specific laws in place preventing them from immigrating and becoming citizens in the United States.
And that's what you were
and that
saying,
had to
Brother
be fought
Chad, about
for
the 60s.
by us, not them. And they're coming here and reaping the benefits of that. Not only that, they're also coming here because there was discrimination, Jim Crow and all that we had to dismantle and defeat. And they're able to come here where there are no signs that say no colors allowed because of our work, because of our sacrifice, not theirs. All of the civil rights movement, now you want to sit up there and make it seem like it's a joke. They came after the fact. When the fighting was done, when people were got up all bloodied and bruising, and everybody went home and the bills were signed, then they came here later after the fighting was over with, after people got up from being sprayed with water cannons, after people healed from being bit up by dogs. That's what happened. Then they came over and they benefited off of that. So much, and they still needed us for that, which is why they put their resources in our community, their businesses in our community. They placed their businesses in our community because they needed economic floor. They needed economic support, and they got it from us. They couldn't put their businesses in the white neighborhoods. They put it in the black neighborhoods because they needed economic support, and they knew we could be relied on.
Yeah, this is complicated.
We would help them like we have helped them before. We would look out for them like we have looked out for everybody before. Don't make it seem like we ain't done nothing for nobody. Don't do that. Don't do that. Y'all make sure y'all hit that like button, please and thank you, family. Please and thank you.
The white supremacist institutions that have run this country from its beginning are not interested in giving us any more. So we're getting scraps, and we're literally fighting over scraps. And we're not fighting the people dishing out scraps to us. We're telling these other groups that 9 times out of 10 are aligned with our struggle, let alone the fact that their struggle in their country is innately wed to the same core issues, that they can't have none of our scraps. And then they turn around and say, okay, thank you.
No, nobody's sitting up there fighting over scraps or whatever. Ask the Democrat Party why they losing the black vote. Okay, because we're demanding our whole pie, not scraps of it. But at the same token, what we're not going to do is advocate for other people to take what belongs to us and allow people to put businesses in our communities, then take our resources out. That's what Dr. Claude Anderson's been talking about. This deflection that Pan-Africanists make by making it seem as if y'all don't care about fighting the big bad guy, y'all just care about fighting the little poor immigrants who ain't doing nothing but trying to feed their families, and it's just so sad. No. What we're doing now is finally being completely honest with ourselves and acknowledging all of the issues, every factor that adds up to this issue right here. We're going to acknowledge that. And then we're going to say, you know what? Every single problematic element in our community, we're not going to dismiss it out of some type of unity for anybody. We're going to call it for what it is. And that's what we're doing. But you want us to call the Caucasians out for what they are, which we should, but you want us to dismiss and belittle, sweep under the rug Africans and Caribbeans under this guise of unity. And that's not what we're doing. No.
And I'm about to go work with these white people. Remember that line, I'm about to go work with these white people.
Again, Tariq was in lockstep with the ADOS movement, led by Yvette Carnell and Antonio Moore. ADOS has their own problems. Rapper Talib Kweli penned a Medium article in 2019 called Why ADOS is Trash that included 2 segments that help prove this point. The first is from when ADOS followers misidentified his heritage after he criticized their co-founder Yvette Carnell, and he's Haitian and telling him to go back. Talib Kweli's from Brooklyn, and his parents aren't immigrants. Stay tuned for them doing that to me 2 weeks ago. The second is about how ADOS and now FBA
again, that's what they do. But
love targeting liberals and progressives like Ta-Nehisi Coates, Kamala, Cory Booker, Bernie Sanders, and every other critic Trump because Dems have taken the black vote for granted. That's absolutely true. But Kweli says that when you target Dems like that, you're letting the GOP slide. I agree 100%. Yvette got this rolling.
No. When you target Dems like that, you're letting the GOP slide. Y'all don't ever say that about the GOP. Y'all never say that about the GOP. This is why people don't listen to y'all. People are not influenced by y'all because y'all will go on the GOP. And I'm not saying I'm a GOP person. Y'all can go on the GOP all y'all want to. All y'all want to, y'all can go on the GOP. And that's something that black people have been doing specifically really since 2016. Black people have been doing that for pretty much a decade, going on the Republicans, going on Donald Trump. That's never, well, you know, you keep talking about Donald Trump, you letting the Democrats slide. You know you're doing that, right? You know you really supporting the Democrats by talking about Donald Trump. You really got to ease up on Donald Trump and know that nobody makes that logic. That logic just doesn't add up into the equation there. I want y'all to notice that. Yet it shows up when we do the reverse. When we talk about the Democrats, don't know y'all really supporting the Republicans when you talk about Democrats that much. You got to ease up on the Democrats because that helps the Republicans out. No. If me talking about the Democrats, let me be abundantly clear. Let me be unapologetically clear with everybody. If me talking about the Democrats' behavior, if me talking about the Democrats' actions or lack of action helps the GOP, then the Democrats need to get it together then.
Right.
I don't owe them anything. It's not, I'm not sitting up there like, well, I can only talk to you so much because I don't want to help them out. If me talking about your behavior helps the Republicans, so be it then.
Right.
You shouldn't be that bad. If you're that bad, the fact that I acknowledge your behavior helps the other party, then it's your fault.
Right.
It's not their fault. And I don't sit up there, I don't have to, well, I just got to make sure the Republicans don't get a win. If your failure gives them a win, then that is what it is. It's their fault. And that logic we don't put with nobody else. We don't sit up there and say, well, you know, you got to ease up on Donald Trump because that's really going to help Joe Biden. Nobody does that then, so we're going to keep the same energy.
Right.
The problem is the Democrats and Democrat shills, which a lot of Pan-Africanists are, Democrat shills, which all like to do is tip the scales in favor of the Democrat Party. I don't do that.
Right.
I call the devil for what it is.
Okay.
We're not going to sit up there and do that. We got in order to make them, because y'all trying to make the Democrats seem like the good guys in comparison. We're not doing that. Y'all trying to make them seem like better in comparison, and talking about them so much will ruin their brand. Let it be. Let it be.
That's right, Afro.
Can we put that in the chat room? Let it be.
Jesse
If talking about the Democrats makes them look bad and not better than the Republicans, let it be. We're not going to sit up there and it's not our responsibility to help their brand. We're not the Democrat. We're the Democrats' biggest advocate. We're their voting bloc. We're their main support and their PR. Damn, what are we getting for this?
Exactly.
Okay.
We can't talk about it because it's going to ruin your reputation. Man, y'all need to be paying us a lot more than what we get. We ain't getting nothing for this then. Now we got to work with your PR because you trying to make your brand seem better and more righteous than the Republicans. Are you serious?
Give us the whole damn Federal Reserve.
No, man.
When she attacked Talib out of nowhere in 2019, his tweet was pro-reparations and anti-Trump, saying he prefers a plan for reparations over withholding our votes and letting Trump win again. She slammed him for being a loud and wrong celebrity. How? He agrees with you. Oh, wait.
Right. Now, you know that video was deleted. I think it's even more beloved than Tariq Nasheed. I remember people actually being warm about it that I had met him than Tariq Nasheed.
I'll just say this. Remember when I said that there's 4 types of MAGA, and that then there's the true believers and the grifters. Yvette is somewhere between there. Yvette Carnell is true Black excellence brush personified. She don't like ghetto niggas. She don't like hood niggas. She don't like dirty Africans, sneaky Caribbeans. She don't like none of that shit. Yvette Carnell is like, at best, she's like old W.E.B. Du Bois. Why y'all sneaky? I don't know. I was trying to think of a slur. I was like, what slur we do for Caribbeans? When I think about Caribbeans, I think about hardworking niggas that can dance well and got good food. What makes Yvette so unique is that Black excellence ethos is so seductive, often impenetrable to aspirational young Black people and older Black people. Again, at the core of this belief system is very much a bootstraps politic that says, if we just got rid of the ghetto niggas and the hood niggas and the cheating, sneaky immigrants, then white people would give us our fair share. You said no different than your average HBCU Royal Court. I'll give you that. We'll meet their CB practices. The Royal Courts be a specific type. And the proof of this is the fact that, as I'm sure they're going to say here,
if you do like the research and you follow the money, Nazi-backed MAGA sapien type branding. So like Yvette and Tariq and them were specifically trying to align themselves with the MAGA sect brand. And a lot of it also, if you do like the research and you follow the money, Nazi-backed MAGA sapien type branding. So like, who is this in service of?
I appreciate that, Foreign. I was going to talk about this anyway. So Yvette served on the board for a group called Progressives for Immigration Reform, which was a fake progressive front organization linked to essentially a Nazi, a white nativist, white supremacist, and eugenics supporter named John Tanton. His goal was to limit Black and brown immigration. This organization he served on built websites that accused immigrants of being responsible for things like traffic, overconsumption, and other environmental problems. They've also increased friction between ADOS/FBA and Black immigrants, as we're going to show a lot more of in the video. The ultimate goal here is to delay a Black or brown majority population in the country for more years. Also, big shout out to Ole for throwing me the alley-oop with this research. We all love you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, so again, I can end the video here. The ADOS and FBA movement cannot be inextricated from the fact that its key figures have historically aligned themselves with literal neo-Nazis, literal eugenicists.
Okay.
He's so full of shit.
Yeah.
Where? Because that's a bold claim. That's a very bold claim. Where's that been done?
Well, shout out to
the aligning with
Lee,
little Nazis
on the show one time.
And things. Where's that been done? Where's that been done? That has not been done. No, we're not aligning ourselves with MAGA. Okay, y'all are the ones who are making it seem like not aligning yourself with the Democrats is a political
MAGA, man. Put all the motherfuckers on a jailbird and put them right straight in fucking jail.
FBA is not a political movement. It's not a movement at all. It's not a group. It's not an organization. Okay, it's the lineage, the name for the lineage, and they know that. They all know that, which is why he put FBA there, and he's trying to connect FBA and ADOS because according to Yvette, and Yvette has told me this personally, ADOS is a political movement and organization. That's what she told me. And in order to say that about FBA, which he knows is not, he has to tie it in to FBA, okay, through Yvette. But really what he's talking about is he doesn't like the movement we have going on currently. He does not support delineation. He already made that clear earlier in the video, and he does not support us standing or sitting, rather, if I can use the word sitting, on the couch for reparations. He doesn't like either of those things. So this is his manipulation. I'm gonna let him finish a little bit longer, and then we're gonna get him off the screen.
Please.
And we're not talking about, I mentioned Du Bois earlier. We're not talking about Du Bois in the 1930s with Margaret Sanger when he didn't know any, well, he probably knew better, but he couldn't, we're not talking about back then when that seemed like it's a horrible idea. We're not talking about Garvey and Malcolm X meeting with the KKK in the 60s with Malcolm and in the 20s or whenever with Garvey, which is still L's. We're not talking about that, though. We talk about in the late 2010s, serving on the board with right-wing neo-Nazi backed organizations because they connected on their hatred of immigrants. This is a loud minority. They have started to get a little bit of motion. We can no longer disconnect from ADOS and ignore them. The Black excellence ties of ADOS and FBA and all that stuff is starting to intertwine with the Black liberal in general. They're starting to connect the dots on that.
See, now the thing is that you're not going to sit up there and have FBA, which is what he's attempting to do, be accountable for Yvette. Yvette has already been called out. That's enough of that. That's enough. Yvette has already been called out by me personally, and by Tariq and by a lot of other people.
Right.
So what you're not going to sit up there and be all like, in order for me to throw FBA under the bus and make them seem like this group cult of MAGA Russian robots, I got to connect them to Yvette, and then I got to slander Yvette. That's not going to work. That's not going to work, y'all. But the Pan-Africanists are desperate because they don't like what we got going on. And that's not our fault. That's their fault. It's their fault. It's their fault. And it is what it is, y'all. But you know what I want to do?
All right, I'm going to stop it there, Shabaka. What are your thoughts on the Pan Goofy's lies spreading about FBA or delineation?
Yeah, and then too, Brother Che, didn't we discuss a while back that when these Africans came here, man, that one of the stipulations for them to be here, man, that they would have to crumb bomb on black people here in the U.S. or not have no.
That's what we were told, Shabaka, but we haven't seen no proof of that. They say they watched a video with customs. We've never seen the video that they watched customs. So
okay, now is it public record or is it accessible?
No, Shabaka, it's not. That's why I think it's bullshit. But they come over here with these preconceived notions about foundational Black Americans, and we're checking it, and they're not liking it.
Okay. Alrighty.
So I'm gonna try to squeeze this next topic in. I'm gonna speed it up about Elon Musk's AI lawsuit.
Okay. And keep in mind that he is Dutch. He's not no African. He's a goddamn Boer.
Open racist. And then he gets sued. And he's been sued multiple times. Well, now he wants to set up AI to discriminate. And you know who he wants to discriminate against, right? Us. He wants to discriminate openly against us. So he's in court right now. In Colorado, sorry about the lawnmower. We're in that time of the year, y'all.
Yeah, he getting sued in my state.
Fire up a lawnmower. So anyway, he's in court in Colorado trying to get the right to discriminate using AI. So he's going to discriminate based on your race, based on where you live, based on your education, based on where you work. Okay? He wants to discriminate against everything and be able to do it legally. That's what he's literally in court fighting right now.
They're granted to
from
him.
Elon, I'm not shocked. Remember, he's an apartheid baby. So you should not
He's
be
a
shocked
Boer, Lisa,
over
honey.
him being
He's
this
Dutch.
way.
He's a fucking
You
Boer.
know, maybe if you didn't allow people to be open racist in the Tesla plants, then you wouldn't have to deal with us like that at all. So being that you failed to do what's right, that's why you keep getting sued. People like you, Elon, I don't feel sorry for. And see, he really technically
But they'll
also
never
don't want
break
us
him, Lisa,
buying
honey.
his products. And guess what, Elon? I don't want your shit. Your shit don't work anyway.
Right.
Your Teslas burst into flames out of nowhere.
Right.
Your Starlink satellites fall out of the sky every day. I did a live on it. Your Starlink satellites drop back down to the earth every day.
Yep.
He got contracts saying they're going to be up there for 5 years. Y'all, some of them that dropped back down only been up there for a few months. Okay? And his rockets are always exploding.
Yep.
And some of them even burn up on the launch pad. Your shit don't work anyway. So I don't want your stuff. I wish I would buy anything affiliated with Elon. I wish the hell I would. So he's coming out, y'all, with this phone. And this phone is supposed to connect with your brain.
Uh-oh.
And that's how it's supposed to work, right? You better not touch that shit. Your brain may burst into flames dealing with his shit.
Right.
So no, Elon, I
See,
don't want your stuff.
you remember what I was saying?
In fact, I banned
Microsoft,
myself from
microscopic,
buying anything
microdot, connected
that
dots.
got
There it
more
is, right
affiliation
there,
to it.
people.
But see, it's like anything else. He wants to
Okay, what
discriminate.
you're
He don't
saying,
want
they'll
us.
blow
but
your
see,
ass up, just like they was
historically,
doing over there in the
whenever
Middle East.
they want to sell to, just
The
look at
motherfuckers
history.
with
Whenever
the
they made
Patriots.
products that want to sell to white people only, it always failed. And then they would have to turn around and sell it to everybody because not enough white people were buying it. Example, Cadillac. Okay, they made that for white people. Then white people were not buying it. So then they turned around and sold it to black people. Oh, we gonna, But y'all, we do not have to save anybody's bottom line. If your attitude is, I don't want them buying my products, I'm more than happy not to buy your product. But see, when you do that, it always implodes. Historically, it always implodes on them. Always. But me, I don't have to save any racist business out here. I don't have to save you. So, y'all, look.
You're damn right
Elon,
about that,
what Elon
Lisa,
is
honey.
doing, trying to have AI openly discriminate against us. And if our people want to buy his product still, you want to still drive a Tesla and all that stuff, hey, it is what it is. When that sucker bursts into flames, I don't even want to see your video online.
Right.
I'm not watching it.
Right.
So let me go ahead and share my screen so you can hear what Elon is attempting to do. Okay, let me move that back. Please give me a 1 if you can see my screen. Yeah, I mean, yeah, he got what, 14 kids? You know something, that ain't gonna make no difference. One man can't save the white race. If the birth rates are low, it's gonna take everybody to have babies. It can't come from one man. One man can only do so much. Even if he left 200 children, it's still not enough to save the white race. Okay, so he's doing it all in vain. It's not gonna save anything. Thank you, y'all, for the ones.
What up, though, DC? It's me again with some tea, but let me holler at you about your favorite Tesla man, the same one that's putting all these AI data centers in Black communities and poisoning the air. He feels as though that his AI should be able to discriminate against Black people. And he feels as though that that's violating his First Amendment rights to not be able to discriminate against Black people. And this is why Black people need to stick together, continue to stick together, continue to love yourself, and continue to pour love into other Black people. Because everybody is against us. And in 2026, they still don't want us to even breathe good air, clean quality air. They still don't want us to get loans. They still don't want us to be able to have insurance. They still don't even want us to be able to go to the doctor, okay? Now, even though this is not really DCT, it made my spidey senses go off because DC right now has the highest rate of unemployment. All these government jobs right here, and even government workers can't get jobs. Who be the ones looking through the stuff? That be the AI, right? So I'm like, hold on, let me tell the people about this. And if you Black and you got a Tesla, yeah, I'm looking at you with a little side eye. A little bit. I still love you though. But if y'all don't believe me, here you go.
Elon Musk just told a federal judge that being forced to not discriminate against Black people violates his First Amendment rights. I'm not exaggerating. That's the actual lawsuit. Your entire attention is on a Chris Brown and Usher stadium tour right now. Meanwhile, Elon Musk is in federal court deciding whether his AI can reject you for your home, your job, and your doctor. This is why we're always missing at the table. The media pushes the concert, and while you're trying to figure out tickets you cannot afford, somebody is in federal court making decisions about your life, with or without you in the room. Same week, the NAACP sued him for running an AI data center in a Black Memphis neighborhood. No permits, hazardous chemicals, people cannot breathe. So let's be clear, he does not want you to breathe clean air at home, and he is in court right now making sure his AI can reject you for your job, your apartment, and your doctor. The law he is fighting, Colorado,
We
it says
brought
AI
this
has to be
up
fair.
3 fucking years ago.
For healthcare. That is the whole law. He's to block it. Stadium tour in the summer, federal court in the fall. One has your attention, the other has your future.
All my Black people, so y'all still about to ride in Teslas? Allegedly, Elon don't like us. The fuck? You can't make this up. Elon Musk is suing for the right to discriminate against Black people. His AI company called XAI allegedly filed a lawsuit against the state of Colorado to block the law that would stop AI tools from discriminating against Black people. He don't want them hiring, giving loans, school admissions, and insurance. This shit wild. And all the other races be thinking we really be tripping when we say we get discriminated for everything. Wasn't he bitching about getting discriminated against in South Africa? His rebuttal is that by him being forced to treat Black people fairly, it violates his First Amendment. The fuck's crazy. These motherfuckers be scared because when they know if Black people had the same equal as other motherfuckers, we'll run this world. We'll run it. That's what they scared of. Now hear me out now, y'all. I ain't got me thinking, is AI made to destroy Black people? Is AI made to just wipe the Black people out? Like you said, no loans, no insurance, no jobs. Not only that, you got me thinking now, the Black people who got Teslas, you know how you probably gotta write your gender down or something, your race and everything? What if they give them different type of Teslas? He want the AI to work bad for Black people. Certain type of Teslas that people can get in if they Black from the other ones. Do that make sense? Comment down below if y'all get it. But Black people, with this information, if you got a Tesla, are you turning it in? Or if you don't got a Tesla, do you still?
Hey, welcome back to another episode of the Daily Download.
Elon Musk is suing the state of Colorado for the right to discriminate.
No, you didn't hear me wrong. Yes, he's suing because he wants the right to discriminate against people.
Colorado passed one of the first laws in the country preventing algorithmic discrimination, meaning that if your AI is used to make decisions regarding people's jobs, housing, loans, and education, then it cannot discriminate against people that are part of marginalized groups. Elon's company, XAI, has sued the state of Colorado to prevent this law from going into effect. This is not too surprising because this is the same man who built the XAI data centers in predominantly Black neighborhoods,
getting them to poor air quality and water contamination. So let's be real what this means for us. AI already decides who gets hired, it already decides who gets the loan, and it already decides who gets stopped by law enforcement. And we know these systems are not neutral. They reflect the biases of the people who put them in place. XAI's Grok has described itself as a mecha Hitler. And the company is arguing it's against its constitutional right to be prevented from discriminating. The Trump administration has already made an executive order calling Colorado's law cumbersome. So you have the White House and the richest man on earth working together, blocking tools, and being pro-discrimination. This is colonialism in code. Same packaging, different era, different strategy. This is not only infuriating, but it's exhausting as well, because Black people are being targeted again, despite not doing anything. So what do I suggest moving forward? Stop supporting Elon Musk. Stop calling him a genius. Stop buying his shit. Stop using his AI. And write letters to your senators, letting them know that you support anti-AI discrimination. And talk about this. Spread this news, because mainstream media is literally not reporting on it. They don't care, but I do. Anyway, guys, thank you guys for tuning in. Please continue to like, comment, share, and follow. Have a great day.
Well,
wow.
That's not surprising to me.
So apparently,
I already knew what that raggedy motherfucker was about.
Elon Musk's new
That
creation.
don't surprise me in the least.
I'm pretty sure I speak for all my Blacks when I say we are not interested. You ain't hurt nobody's feelings, Elon. You got Teslas on the road, mind you. They don't malfunction. You gonna have Teslas blow up for no reason at all, and then we just sweep it under the road and put the Tesla trucks out there looking like bent up trash cans. Like, I mean, we can invest in ourselves. Yeah, it's a little black boy invented a motor that runs off water.
Yep, he sure
I'm sure
did.
it can run off water. It can run off piss. Either or, we don't got to plug the motherfucking thing up. But yeah, we not offended by this. You got some type of AI creation that you're working on, and we can't be a part. Fine. You got enough malfunctions out here. I'm pretty sure it's going to be some malfunctions with this. And then you also working. Now I'm gonna need you to keep that same energy when it comes to the Neuralink that you're working on. Then let me explain the Neuralink to you. The Neuralink, it connects your phone to your brain. Now, could you imagine that you can buy a brand new phone today, brand new number, and an Indian person is calling you trying to sell insurance? I mean, they call me all day long. I gotta put
I get them same goddamn bullshit ass calls too. With medical insurance, and I cuss the motherfuckers out and hang up and block the goddamn number. And then the fucked up part about it is, people, the same motherfucker will call me back the next
don't call us
day.
when it malfunctions on your ass. Got all these movies talking about it's humans against the robots. You the one making the fucking robots, bitch.
Yeah.
Don't call us, okay?
You right
Elon
about
Musk's
that.
AI company sues the state of Colorado in federal court over the state's AI law, which aims to ban algorithmic discrimination. Musk's company,
Hey, brother Che, there's the issue for you right there in Colorado, homie.
Quoting from the lawsuit here, it says, XAI has designed and developed Grok to answer to only
Brother
evidence
Che?
and reason without regard to political correctness, ideological biases, or anything that might distort objective truth. The lawsuit argues Colorado's law now seeks to force XAI to abandon its disinterested pursuit of truth and instead promote the state's ideological views on various matters, racial justice in
Is
particular.
everybody still
The quick
up?
history of Colorado's law is that the governor signed a bill into law in May 2024. The initial law was supposed to go into effect this February. In a special session last summer, the legislature changed the law so that it goes into effect at the end of June. And now Musk is suing to stop the law from ever going into effect because they argue it is unconstitutional.
Did you know that robots could be racist? Elon Musk is currently suing the state of Colorado for infringing on his right to be racist. The state of Colorado has officially outlawed the ability for artificial intelligence to use discriminatory practices in hiring. Elon Musk didn't like that. He and his team argued that if you stop AI from not hiring Black applicants, it is now an infringement on their American right of freedom of speech. Now, here's why that's important. AI is on trajectory of being $1 trillion industry. If we do not act now, we will then be pushed out of the biggest economic boom of our lifetime. Here's what we have to do. The only way to beat a racist is with revolution. We need more Black ownership, more Black venture capitalists, and more Black engineers.
I've been saying that for the last goddamn 10 years.
We control who comes in the room. We control who's being hired. But you all let me know what you think. Are you all concerned that AI might be racist?
Especially a lot of so-called Black content creators suggesting that this is about this dude Elon Musk fighting to exercise his racism. Okay. And you know, man, so-called Black people who are the audience, you also, man, got to know when you got a lot of these old weak, pathetic content creators.
Yeah, it's got
just
us
putting a
now.
lot
I
of rage
wouldn't get
bait out
that
there.
bastard a couple
All right,
of piss if
to
he
pull
was
up.
dying out
All
in
right,
this desert of
and give them
thirst
some
in
clickbait.
June.
And, you know, a lot of them, they see one content creator do it, they are likely to do it, especially if they have the audience, okay? You know, they see that they're bubbling with their audience with it, they'll pull up and say it too. You don't really know what they are. Okay.
Brother Che.
Okay, that last guy, I just skipped over him because he's getting all off subject. Oh, you just want to, I don't want to hear that. You know, stay on subject. So anyway, look, y'all, the bottom line is we don't owe Elon nothing. And he doesn't realize if he passed this law, technically we would be able to set up an AI company and keep white people out. You know, and it would be nothing they
we
could say.
We don't have the resources, Lisa, honey. So, you would need trillions of dollars to do that.
There is nothing that man got that I want. So he certainly will never get my business, whether he wins this court case or not. It doesn't matter. I don't want to do any of his products. I don't. I have no desire for no Tesla. Personally, I think in that Cybertruck is the ugliest thing I've ever seen in my life. Even the raccoons confuse it for a dumpster. Okay, that says a lot. Your car looks like a damn dumpster. So, and Starlink, they said it's very expensive. I don't want any satellite service from Elon Musk. I don't want none of that. But everything, y'all, is virtually AI, whether you recognize it or not. Now, a lot of times when you fill out applications, it's not a person deciding whether you get an interview or not. It's AI. And now banking use a lot of AI to determine whether you should get a loan or a credit card or a mortgage or not. It's not people doing that. A lot of it is AI now. When you go to even the hospital, sometimes they'll put you in front of a computer to fill out your name, your address, your insurance, and all that stuff. And it's all AI. So it's more AI out here than you can even imagine. It's a lot out here. And if he succeeds, then we'll get turned down all the time. And that's what he wants. So if we're trying to get loans or anything done in our lives and we have to go through AI, Elon wants the right to discriminate and not give us a loan, not allow us to enroll in a certain school. That's what he wants to do. Okay, this is just his discriminatory way of shutting us out and not doing it through a human being anymore, but the AI doing it instead.
And this AI shit will grow on its own.
Elon, if I could wish for anything for you, I wish you could get deported. I really do. I think you have taken so much money that you weren't even eligible for. But, you know, people like you don't have to be eligible in order to get things. We already know that. Even if you're a foreigner, if you are the right persuasion, you can get whatever you want. And this man left Doge. And not long after he left Doge, he got $1 trillion contract. Now, if Elon has proven to put things out that don't work, why would you keep throwing money at him?
Right.
But because he's a white male. That's why you keep throwing money at him and keep overlooking all the flaws that you're seeing.
Bore.
You know? And it's never going to be enough. I say pack up this apartheid baby and send him right back to South Africa.
Brother Che, that's what I'm saying. The Boers are
Elon
the
has
white
not put out one
Dutch.
product that is a necessity for this country. Not one product.
Yeah.
Okay, that's why they have shut the market on Chinese electric cars, which they said are way better, way cheaper, and you got everything in there.
And fuck them too, Lisa.
And because those cars work better than Elon, America has shut them out of the market. But guess who's getting them now? Canada. Canada got a deal with China. So they're going to start importing cars over to Canada, and they're going to be able to drive those cars. And they said they're way better than Tesla and cheaper. But in this country, they have shut them out. They won't let the Chinese sell their electric cars over here. So y'all, I'm going to go ahead and conclude. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for your support. I deeply appreciate it. And be on the lookout for my next live. Shalom, family.
Shalom, Lisa.
All right, Lisa. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we want to thank everybody for tuning in tonight here. Season 11, episode 32 of Shabaka's Blacc Experience Enhanced in conjunction with Frontline Black News. Definitely go to our like page on Facebook, Shabaka's Blacc Experience Enhanced, and please follow it. Also, too, definitely check out the Revolutionary Agenda with Lady Che, and definitely check out Frontline Black News. We appreciate all, coming in and what have you. And please share this video far, far and wide, because I got my damn YouTube channel on private and I'm trying to get it to go public and I can't figure out the fucking algorithm. This is the problem with this AI shit. You see what I'm saying? And then just like how I keep getting these bullshit ass calls from these healthcare providers. Oh, is this Shabaka saying, Corey? Man, who the fuck is you? Well, Shabaka, we talking about, medical click. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Click.
So,
you know what I mean?
With us, shout out to Dynamite for coming through. Shout out to our guys.
Yeah, Goddess Nami. Shout out there to Big Dog, all our regulars. And then please share this episode.
No, not Breeze. Breeze didn't come through. Crow came through. He's not supposed to be on this show.
Crew is not allowed on Shabaka's Blacc Experience Enhanced. Okay. I don't hate the brother. He's just disruptive to the platform. Yeah. Okay, Brother Che. So what are your closing comments? Lady Che?
Hey, Che, I hate the fact that Colorado is always in the fucking news. Always a bullshit. However, that fucking Elon Musk, I did a couple of couple of shows talking about the data centers, and that's been I've been on that ass lately about the data centers because they take up a lot of resources. They're meant to kill us because they want to kill us, and that one in Memphis. That was the first one I did because they put it right behind a little black enclave, a little black neighborhood, and all the people were getting sick. All the elders were getting like COPD. Not one goddamn day of their life, and they're lungs now to get cancer. I'm even talking about beautiful black people getting sick. They never touched no cigarettes or nothing like that in their whole fucking lives. They have a nice little place, and then all of a sudden they just kick in the bucket. That shit just upsets me because, like, it's bad enough. Like, oh damn, like this is how you gonna kill us? You gonna fuck with our brain? You gonna fuck with our lungs? You gonna fuck with our heart? You're just gonna do that, and so you can make money, you greedy son of a bitch. Like, I hope everything you make blows up. I hope you never get to fucking pass a rocket. I hope you don't ever get to go to space. If you go to space, that shit blow up on fucking as soon as you get there. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Hey, what they need to do with that motherfucker there, Lady Che, is put him on one of his own goddamn rockets, blast off into outer space, and drive that motherfucker straight to the sun.
Right. Yeah. That motherfucker blow up.
Hard cut off at the 3-hour mark.
Yeah. Okay. I'm sorry, big. Yeah. We're gonna see y'all at Frontline.
Yeah.
Okay. And we thank everybody here at Shabaka's Blacc Experience, and keep in mind, folks, there ain't never a dull moment on this place. Boy, I tell you that. So please share this episode far and wide. Definitely contribute to the
stay up. Get your coffee or whatever, so you can stay up for Frontline Black News.
Okay, and then I got an appointment at 9:00 tomorrow morning, man, to go see the shrink. Okay, so it's 9:04 my time. Okay, I can go with you till 10:30, man, on Frontline Black News.
All right, I probably won't get started till 10:30, but all right.
Oh, man. Okay, wait a minute. Hold on, Brother Che. 10:30. Okay, you talking about 10:30 your time or my time?
Your time.
Okay, that's an hour and a half. Okay, I'm going to try to do you an hour. Okay. Yeah, because like I said, I got to go check to these appointments and all this old type of stuff, man. Yeah, it's a lot of shit on my plate trying to make some shit happen. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What have you. So we can expand this platform, okay? So I'm going to go over here to the library, Brother Che, get another fucking idiot book, and then I'm going to ask the motherfucker to go directly to the publisher and get the latest edition. The Streamyard, the PewTube, all that, because that shit that I got, man, it was dated, man, over 12 years ago,
All right,
yeah. Okay, so hit me with the link, man, at the usual spot, okay? And you say, when are you going on right now? Okay, but you're saying an hour, correct?
Yeah, in about an hour.
Yes, sir. Okay. All righty. Okay, Lady Che. Okay. Okay, Goddess Navi, it's always a pleasure to have you, sister.
Yes, April 21st, 2026.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. The day after 420. So all you loaded motherfuckers out there, you know, which is your business, you know, try to smoke you another one and stay up with us for the next hour. Okay. All right. Talk to y'all soon. Okay. Take care.
All right.
Okay.
Let me play these clips. All right. We'll see y'all in about an hour for Frontline Black News.